Welcome to the Daily HiFi podcast. My name is Chana. With me today, we've got Mr. Joe and Tell. No
What's up?
Aaron today. What's up?
No, no, no. I was just laughing. That intro sounds like we're breaking something.
Breaking news today, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Wednesday.
Yes.
Go hump
Breaking
something.
news. I have a 10 from being out in the sun.
Dude, me too. Oh, dude, here's something. We didn't talk. I went to a Lucid owners get together. There was like 60 of us. And met a couple of YouTube viewers there. One was like, "Hey, you ordered," and they were Indian too. That was great. You ordered a Techno Dad.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And anyway, we ended up mobbing over to the Electrify Expo. And it was about Lucid was there with a bunch of, they had like test drives. You can test drive, dude, the new Hummers that are electric. GM was there, Toyota, Volvo, Lexus, Kia, all that stuff. And then there's a bunch of like e-bikes and electric motorcycles. And they had like a course and we like test drive these. Dude, it was so much fun. Oh my gosh. It was fantastic. And so I was out in the sun, like, look at this, man. Like, damn, a big old tan.
Yeah.
Big old tan.
That's why I'm wearing long sleeve today, actually.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not like were you outside? You don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like 9. So yeah. Been out in the sun. So
out in the sun.
Yeah. You gotta cover up. Anyway.
Definitely. I'm like peeling on my nose and my forehead. So yeah. I totally forgot. Like it was cold. Like it was cold in the morning on Saturday and overcast. And then all of a sudden noon showed up. And
so do you get burnt?
I just peel.
Yeah, I don't ever get like super red burnt.
Red? No. I just get more chocolatey. See?
I'm sure with enough exposure you'll get burnt.
Yeah. In Mammoth, I think I got burned once. My nose was super red because I was out and DJing and there's a bunch of snow outside. Yeah. Yeah. What'd you do? Were you doing soccer stuff? Is that what happened?
Yeah, so out doing soccer stuff. Filming for the camp. Just because I figure if I'm out there, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna stay busy.
Might as well.
So I was out there with the DJI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, dude? I see that out in the wild. So my mom and I were like at El Pollo Loco having some food one night, and this girl's like all up in there with her Pocket 3 ordering. I'm like, oh my god, this girl's vlogging over here. Oh shit, is this what I look like?
Her where?
El Pollo Loco.
Because that's a vlog-worthy place.
I know, right?
Getting that good content. Wow.
Hey, she was cute. Whatever.
Well, I guess that doesn't matter where you're at then.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Peter saying that he got some new cable. He got an Audio Quest Niagara. What a difference. I asked him what kind of, how so, and he said
Niagara
long-time interference is gone.
Is that that's the power conditioner, right?
Is that what it is? Power conditioner? Okay.
Yeah, it's
what kind of cable? I don't know. I guess. Okay, so Niagara is a power conditioner.
Yeah.
All right.
Which one did he get? This 3,000, 1,200. I want to know how much he spent on this thing. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It came with a cable.
Well,
1,200. He said 1,200. Okay, hey. What? I don't know what the issue was, but if it solved it, then that's good.
Yeah.
If it were me, I'd probably be thinking, how much less can I spend and still solve the problem? Like, what is the
Joe doesn't like to spend money.
How do I solve the problem? What's the least amount I can spend to solve that problem? That's all.
I know Joe. I've been hanging out with Joe for a long time. He's got to say that money. gotta say, have you seen that music video by Lil
What?
Dicky? Save that money.
No,
You guys gotta watch that. It's hilarious, dude.
you know what it is for
Uh,
me? It's not even it's partially saving money, but also I want to know what the issue is. Like, I'm going to find out what the problem is first. And so if I'm gonna take
uh,
the time to do that just because I'm crazy, then I'm gonna also try to solve the problem, as quickly, quickly enough. I know a lot of times I don't know, Shauna, sometimes you just want the problem solved and you're willing to spend money to
because I
fix the
don't have the
problem.
time. I don't have the time to fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's smart. That's smart. If you know you can get it fixed quickly and it costs you extra, then time is money. So it's another way to
Yeah.
save in some way.
Yeah.
I get it.
You guys, I dropped the link to that music video, Save That Money. It's
Uh-huh.
hilarious. It's Lil Dicky he wants to make the most epic rap video without spending any money.
Oh, I,
So
I have seen that. Wow.
he goes to all these mansions and he's just kind of convincing people, and this lady let him use the house. And then he goes to like a McLaren dealer, and then he goes to a Lamborghini dealer, and all of a sudden you see the Lamborghini in his music video. He's
Oh yeah, he'll go talk to them. They're like, no, no, and then somebody will say yes, and then
yeah.
you'll just see him. The song continues.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And like he's like when he's like trying to pitch these people, he's like, it's gonna get hundreds of millions of views. And here it is, 9 years later, 197 million views.
He wasn't
And then
lying.
at the end, he's like, and if there's a charity or an Instagram or your business that you want me to put at the end of it, I'm happy to do so. And so they got a bunch of exposure. But dude, it's hilarious, dude. The boat, he gets on somebody's boat. it's just it's dope. It's dope.
I mean,
So
realistically, a lot of times those cars are rented
yeah. Yeah, of
anyway.
course. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Um. Yeah. Somebody saying anyone who's saying what is it? Anyone who says their audio quest cable upgrade is sound improvement is just lying to themselves. I don't know if it's a power conditioning thing and if it really just made an issue go away. So I'm not a huge believer in all expensive cables and power conditioners, things like that. But if there's an issue with your power and there's noise and then something makes the noise go away, that's not placebo. That's just something was fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I was saying earlier is there something less expensive that would also fix the problem?
Mhm.
So
A $400
maybe you could have bought
thing.
a $200 thing or $100 thing that might have fixed it. I had an issue. I have a USB hub, like a Thunderbolt hub, and that causes issues with the studio setup. It introduces
Hum.
some kind of noise in the system. You know what ended up fixing it? I have that ELAC power conditioner.
Yep.
That thing was maybe $800. That didn't do anything. But when I used one of those smart switches, those smart plugs,
Yeah.
or you know what I'm talking about, the smart plug. For some reason, that fixed the issue. I don't know if it's acting as a ground lift.
Maybe.
Whatever it
That's
does.
definitely possible. I mean, ground lifts, you'd be surprised. That little cheap little ground lift saved me a whole lot of headache. Depending on the situation,
Mhm.
depending on the house, the wiring.
Mhm.
Um, sometimes you're not at a good spot. I'm talking about DJing somewhere.
Mhm.
I get there and all of a sudden, the power's just not good. But yeah, and that not the cloud lifter, the ground lift, like helps out a lot. I remember when I got a power conditioner, like the Furman, and I made a video about it just to make a video back in the day, like
Furburger.
2026. Yeah. All right, NPH. Where's it at? I want burgers. Let's go get the
Huh?
burgers. Somebody's like, yeah, I got mine, and like the video was so much clearer. I'm like, whoa, time out, dude. You're drinking a little too much of that Kool-Aid, right? I don't think your picture is gonna get clearer unless there was something drastically wrong with your picture to begin with.
Mhm.
All right.
What I
So,
do believe in are
uh-oh.
good shielded RCA
Shielded cables.
cables,
Mm-hmm.
shielded
Yep.
RCA, shielded XLRs or good XLR cables,
Yep.
not crappy XLR cables, let's just say. Um,
Oh, shit.
and maybe not a crappy HDMI cable. I've had issues with long runs of an HDMI cable. And so I've had to
Yep.
go and try to find one that would actually work for that long of a distance. So those are the cases where I've noticed a difference. With HDMI, it either worked or didn't work.
Yeah, that's easy to tell.
With RCA, you can get some bad RCAs. There's some bad RCAs out there. There's
Well,
some cheap RCA cables where have you ever gotten a 3.5 to RCA? You know those cables. It's 3.5 one and RCA
yeah.
where the right and left are switched.
Oh, from the like paint on it or
No,
whatever, the
well, the
markings
actual you plug it in, and then if you plug red into right, white into left,
left.
it's the wrong way. I'm
Ugh.
like, how cheap is this thing where they couldn't get that one thing right? Those are usually the ones that come with the product, but I'm just saying,
Wow.
there's such thing as
Wow.
really cheap stuff. Um, let's see.
Like there are times like I usually when I have to do a live gig, I usually bring 2 or 3 cables.
Mhm.
So, and that's everything from the USB-C 3.0 to the USB-A 3.0, like a little short one for my hard
Mhm.
drives. I got to have at least 2 of those because if one of those fails, I have no music to play.
Mm.
You know, it's very convenient these days that I carry, you can carry like 40,000 songs on like a hard drive or a USB stick. You lose it, or A, it gets corrupted somehow, or you don't have the cable, you're screwed. You know, there's no way you're doing, DJing Wi-Fi when the Wi-Fi is spotty as well. So yeah, man. Some cables are just even like the cheaper ones on Amazon. Some are just better than others, and you don't know until like you make the wrong move and
Yeah,
buy the shitty one, and you couldn't tell they're both the same price. You're like, I'll get this one. You know?
RCA for sure. RCA is
Yep.
very susceptible
Yep.
to noise. So anything that's a low level signal where you're transmitting over a longish distance and the signal coming through that wire is very low level, then you have a chance of any RF interference or any type of interference getting into that is going to get then amplified. Then it becomes very noticeable. So, yeah, RCA, XLRs, things like that.
What
I
up,
want to talk.
everyone in the chat? Yo, mama.
Yeah.
Yo,
Oh, yeah.
Momo.
What's up?
Hey, man. How do you say that? Pieter? Pieter.
Yeah.
Pieter?
Well, he says, yeah, he was saying that he cheap cables sometimes influence sound and picture, is what he says. You're gonna have to, yeah. Some stuff makes sense. Some stuff just makes
Hmm.
logical sense. If an RCA is getting sick, if I put my phone next to an XLR cable and then you hear something coming through the mic, that's an obvious difference. There's sound going through a cheap XLR. Then if I use this Mogami gold cable and I do the same thing, no sound comes through, that's an easy test. But if you make a big claim, you have to be able to prove.
Right.
So if you say it makes a difference in sound and picture, okay, that's your claim. You prove it. I can make a claim that using this better cable improves the sound because it doesn't make noise come through my mic. I can prove that. That's easy. I'm the one making the claim. I prove it. So if you make the claim, it's not for me to disprove, it's for you to prove. That's kind of how it goes.
So
In my
interestingly enough, I was hit up last week, and then I guess today they followed up. I didn't see the email before by a cable company
Mhm.
that makes really nice looking cables for in-ear monitors. So they're
Mm.
like aftermarket IEM cables.
Mhm.
And since I don't have any IEMs, I'm like,
Mhm.
But I clicked on their link, man. This stuff looks great. But damn, bro, 400, $500.
Oh
Sorry,
man,
500 euros.
they better
Mm.
not get, you know,
And they have like a rating system, right? Timbre sound signature, Tonal balance closer to neutral. Bass 8 out of 10. So they like mid-range 8 out of 10, treble 9 out of 10. So they like rate it or whatever. Which I think is cool, but I mean, that's just somebody else's subjective. You know, like, how do I contact these people? Do I just be like, yeah, I don't really believe in this kind of stuff, but
These IEMs I think were $800.
which ones?
These FIO ones,
Okay.
FA9s, I think. I don't use them very often, but they sound pretty good. And the cable is nice. And one thing I've noticed compared to some of the cheap IEMs, they just don't feel they won't get tangled as easy. You know how some of the other ones have rubbery texture,
Rubbery, yeah.
rubber kind of starts sticking to itself. This one is not like that. You can just easily untangle it and then be done. But that's it. That's what I'm looking for. If it feels good around my ear, I mean, simple stuff.
Like, I can say, okay, so somebody asked if they're silver. This is a high-grade silver conductor. Oh, wait, no, it's hybrid copper silver IEM cables. Engineered to achieve ideal tonal balance, deep bass, clear mids, and crisp extended highs. Do I sound like a guy on a TV commercial? Everybody needs to upgrade their speakers. Oh, is that? He's here.
What up? What it do, baby?
Hey.
It's the Iceman Paul Wall. I got my mouth blowing something like a disco ball. That's all.
Oh,
like I'm chewing on aluminum foil.
You chewing on balls? What?
We're talking about cables.
Good time to jump in, buddy.
So Daryl says, I'm not defending them, but according to your rule, Joe, how does AudioQuest prove their positions? Because they sure add goofy stuff to their claims, like molecule direction, oxidation, etc.
Hey, you just freaked out the rocket scientist down there.
I don't know what you just said.
It would be equivalent to me saying, you know, I made this new speaker, and the tweeter I made out of something special that nobody's ever used. I use dead skin cells, and that leads to more natural. You know, most people use something like paper or even beryllium. Ugh. Who wants that metallic sound?
Look,
we use dead skin cells to make it sound a certain way. So what?
I'm telling you.
Who
I'm telling
cares?
you, the tweeter design on these speakers, you know, ribbon tweeter, you know, aluminum, beryllium. I'm telling you guys, I have this new patented system, patent pending, right? I cut off a bunch of my beard hairs and weave them together. And once you run the current through there, you get highs like angels are singing at you.
It's natural because it's natural.
It's natural. Yeah.
It's organic. And
I'm finding a hard time to keep up with orders though.
Look, if you can't tell the difference, your system's just not resolving enough. That's all it is. That's what they say. It's on you.
Yeah.
If you can't tell the difference, that's on you.
Right.
Your ears aren't good. Your system's not resolving.
Right.
And my point was, they're the ones who have to prove it. Yeah. I can just chill and do nothing. They have to prove it in some way. Or they're a business and all they have to do is sell. And if you buy it, then they did their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to sell.
And if you like it, then cool, right?
And you're happy, you're good. You're good.
I mean, these things look cool, but I mean, I wouldn't pay $100, $200, $500 for this.
They did their job. You did, you did what you wanted to do. So everybody's happy. Unless you bought it assuming that those claims were true, and you go to test it, and you're like, I don't notice anything with these beard hairs. What's up with these?
Beard hairs.
The heck?
Magic
The beard hair tweeters.
It's creepy.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I named the app Magic Beans.
Oh yeah,
because I just said, you know what? So much of this stuff is BS.
Right. Might as well.
Let me just go. I'm gonna run with that then. Let's just make it like a BS name. But you know what they say, under promise and over deliver. So let me just pretend it's BS. I'll just say it's BS. And then when it actually works, you're like, oh, okay. So the point is, I am proving it. I'm proving it in the results that it makes sense. It makes sense scientifically. People like it. So what else can you do? I think that's proving it. Aaron, what's up, Aaron?
Yo, what up, my guy?
Y'all act like I just got here. I've been here.
You've been here for 5 minutes, dude. Like, get out of town.
In the cable conversation, and you know how that
I
gets.
missed it, man.
You reviewed something recently, the Wim. What is it? Wim Amp Ultra? Is that what it is?
Amp Ultra.
Wim
I didn't
is
even know
doing.
that was a thing.
There was a great thumbnail. Sleek, smart, powerful. I mean,
That's me.
I didn't know I made a cameo in the video.
I didn't even know that was a real. I didn't know that was a product. Wim Amp Ultra.
Thing. It's pretty cool, man.
So that's the best of all their stuff.
I guess so.
The Wim Ultra is the cool with a screen.
Right. Yeah, that's like the streamer thing.
And then they have that Viblink amp.
Correct.
Is this as powerful as the Viblink amp?
No. I want to say that this is actually a little bit better.
What? How? This is
it's like a smidge better. I'm not 100% sure. I would need to. I've got data.
Oh man, but they're separates, Aaron. Separates.
I know it. Separates are always better. Yeah,
they have to be.
Yeah, I have to look at the data, but I want to say that this one has just a smidge more power. It's not the same amp though. Instead of, I think the Viblink has like one of those TI chip amps, something like that. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the exact products that are inside of it, but the Wim Amp Ultra, I believe, has two of those chip amps, something like that. So
I don't know. They messed up. You're supposed to make the separates better in some way.
Yeah, well, they goofed. What are they going to do, man? Now they're just going to send them all back, I suppose.
Well, you said that the auto EQ was pretty decent.
Yeah, it's actually pretty decent. It doesn't suck. What? Yeah.
Oh, well, we had a different experience.
They must have changed something, I'm guessing. Maybe. Wow. I don't know. But, I know the last time I tried it, I was just like, ugh.
Oh, I see.
I was like, that's all right. Yeah. But it's been a while since I tried it the last time.
Okay. I tried it when it first came out, and then a few times after that, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I was like,
no. Oh, and I tried it a few different times. It kept giving me different results, and I said, at least give me a consistently bad result, but don't give me consistently different results. That's weird.
When you used it, did you have the ability to set like the window on it and choose different curves?
Yeah, it has a default.
Yeah,
the default window.
So I kind of curve, and then you can choose a Harman curve. And I think maybe the other one's flat.
Yeah.
But
well, I used it in a situation in the kitchen where it was a very problematic location.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I was getting the results I was getting. Versus yours might have been a more optimal situation. And so there's less, I guess, possibilities to screw it up. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Was it in your living room?
What?
Was it in your living room?
It was. Yeah, okay. I had it set up in there. Powering those Focal speakers. I didn't try any other speakers with them because I thought if it can power these, it'd probably be fine for most of them because it dips down below 4 ohm on that speaker.
Okay.
A couple times.
So my speakers are two Numi speakers on top of the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine.
So
yeah, no problem.
Stress testing. That's stress testing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's how it's got to be done sometimes.
Yeah, I want to see what it can do. So yeah, you like that one? You were mentioning that you're down to finally try out Magic Beans. Was it on this kind of the same setup?
Hold on, say that again.
You were saying, oh yeah, you're down to finally check it out and see.
Yeah.
I was just kind of curious to see how it compares to Wim's auto correction or.
Oh no, it's just because I have it all out and I was thinking about it. So no, I wasn't trying to do it for comparison purposes or anything like that. I just was thinking like, oh well, I've got this. I know that Magic Beans works with the Wim. So I thought, I need to go ahead and do this while I've got all this stuff out.
Yeah, we have a new Wim export that should give you the exact parameters that work with the WIM app.
Yeah.
That's I think that's on the latest version. It might be on a version we haven't released yet, but in any case, you can get output for that.
Okay.
I'm actually curious to see what happens because I know that you're reviewing those speakers, and we have a speaker response export that shows your in-room measurements.
Yeah.
And I thought that it might be cool to compare it with what you actually get with your Clipple. Maybe compare it with your estimated in-room response, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a good exercise to try those out with. So
hey, Aaron, have you measured those focals?
I have.
Oh, what's the
I replied to you in that group.
Did you?
Message this morning. Yeah, so I've been listening to them for like about 2 weeks off and on.
Okay.
And yeah, when I fired them up right away, I was like, oof, there's a top end. But the rest of it sounded fine. And like in the past, my experience has not been that way. It's like there's a couple other things that I just did not like. But with these, I like them other than the top end. And so, yeah, when I threw them on the clip on, looked at the results, it's really weird, man. It's like the mid-range, upper mid-range starts to like kind of fall down. And then the tweeter comes in and it comes in swinging, dude. It's like probably 3 to 5 decibel over the mid-range. So
is it a beryllium?
No beryllium on that level.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. But I used not the mini DSP, the WIM EQ, and I dropped that upper range down just like I put a high shell filter on it, and that solved it for me. So yeah, I think I like the speaker. I like the overall package of the speaker. I'm like, they need a resistor on that tweeter, man. Just bring it down about 3 dB.
Well,
that's what somebody should do. They should put a resistor on it, like in line with it.
Or what about if we just had a fucking 4-band equalizer in line?
You could do that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, assuming that the EQ was at the right spot, right?
Directivity is pretty okay on it because I noticed that it did have a bit of a waveguide on it.
Yeah, I don't, you got me wondering. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the results and remind myself.
Yeah. See, they need the beard hair tweeter.
They do.
With the extra.
I'm telling you.
Texture of the dead skin cells.
It's actually not my beard hair. My bad. It's actually from the 2-foot, the 2-toed pygmy sloth, right?
Yeah.
Sloth hair.
Ancient.
It's, those things move slowly. So does this.
Yeah, there's definitely some weirdness going on with this speaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's wild.
So that'll be a good test. That'll be a good test for Magic Beans because we do take directivity into account. So we'll see. We'll see if it gets fooled.
Yeah, the horizontal radiation does something weird. It branches out and keeps going until maybe about 10K or so, and then it starts to break up. It looks like.
Okay, all right. So that should be fun. I'm curious to see if the in-room directivity measurement that we take, if it shows that.
Oh yeah, it might. Let me. Yeah, I think from just looking at the data, it looks like the tweeter's crossed over too high, and it needs to be padded down a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I don't know for sure, but that's
so
what it looks
crazy. Like. In car audio, a lot of guys use focal stuff because they make some good drivers.
Yeah.
What's up with their?
They used to make all the OEM stuff.
Yeah, they did.
The crossover. Yeah. I mean, you should be able to figure out the right crossover point. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm perplexed by it, but I got to say, it doesn't sound as bad as it looks. So that's interesting, but it does, but that's the only area that really sounds as bad as it looks. So I guess if that makes sense. So if you EQ that down, it's a lot better speaker.
Yeah. So, you know what's also crazy? You came out with another video. Your favorite speakers under, I think, what was it? How much?
$1,500.
Yeah. And I gotta say, a lot of the stuff that you say there are all speakers that I would also highly recommend.
Oh, well, good.
So, I mean, it should be no surprise. I don't know why people are so surprised with the measurement stuff, and it's just it doesn't matter. I would agree with almost every single one of those except for the ones that I have never reviewed, so I don't have an opinion on them.
Yeah.
But when you say Polk XT20, I made a video about how I like those a lot.
Yeah.
I like the Cali LP UNFs.
Yeah.
And the IN and the LP6 V2s,
the IN8 V2.
all these
Dude,
things are speakers that I like. Those Asai Labs ones, I've never reviewed them, but I can look at those measurements and I'd say I'll buy those right now. I like those.
They're good speakers. I like them a lot. I was actually going to buy them, but I guess Amir wanted to review them, so I shipped them out to him, and he's sending me the ones that he reviewed.
Okay.
Kind of seems redundant, but I do some additional tests that he doesn't do, so it's not redundant on my end.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm curious. I asked if I could review those because I think they're like $700 a pair. Not 100% sure, but I was thinking
crazy. Their pricing is I'm almost like you could charge more. I'm glad you don't, but you could definitely charge more for the performance.
Yeah.
And it just kind of goes to show they look good, they measure well. Obviously, they're doing a lot of R&D and getting the right components and doing the right things and doing the right things with the waveguide.
Yeah.
What is everybody else doing then? What are these big companies doing where they're charging more and it's not measuring as well? I don't get it.
Aesthetics. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think you have to have a waveguide to sound good. There's a lot of speakers that don't, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like a waveguide on most of the speakers. I find some kind of waveguide is more likely to be more likely to have good directivity. So whether it's a concentric or a two-way with a waveguide, I like some kind of waveguide. If it's just a tweeter mounted on a baffle, I already know what that's going to do.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some diffraction somewhere, but I guess it's all about trade-offs too. Like, what trade-offs are you willing to accept?
But what trade-off is that, though? I'm trying to spark up a little bit of an argument, a little bit of debate here.
Well, so the center-to-center positioning, right, is going to be larger for the waveguide, which means you're going to have a lower crossover slope, or you're going to have higher distortion. So you've got to trade that off. And if you do a higher crossover slope or a lower frequency and or higher crossover slope, then that's more components, which means more money too, which is something else that kind of stands out, I guess, when you look at that Asai Lab speaker, because I think they said it's a fourth order crossover at 1.1 for the tweeter. I don't know if the mid has the same thing as a low pass, but I'm guessing it probably does. But that's extra money, that's more components.
Fourth order is not typical.
Yeah. So that drives up the price and makes you just think like, I wonder what kind of profit margins they have. So here's an interesting thing is that I saw where Amir is going to start distributing for that brand here in the States. So he's going to be their US distributor. And I thought, that's interesting.
I saw that too. I saw that.
I'm curious. I'm going to put all the other stuff aside. I'm curious if that's going to cause the prices to go up. I don't know how it couldn't, because right now they're direct to consumer.
Yeah.
And I just don't. So I read all through that thread, and I'm pretty sure that he was saying it shouldn't impact the final price. But I'm just thinking, how? Unless he's got some kind of thing where he's buying in such a big bulk that they're offering him a little bit more of a discount, and he's able to pass that on and keep the prices the same as what they are.
Yeah. I don't know the business side of that.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I hope that it doesn't cause them to go up much. Maybe 100, something like that. Maybe, that'd be okay. But if they have to go up much more than that, I think they're still a really good speaker. But then I think your competition, they start to close that gap in terms of competition. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like you're butting up against more and more competition when you're right here at X number of dollars, you were rivaling stuff that was up here. But now as you're bringing it up here, it's not as easy of a sell. And people who are maybe trying to decide between something that looks really good and sounds, pretty good, but it's $400 more. Now this thing is maybe $200 or $100 less, and that gap isn't as large anymore. So I don't know. I'll be curious. I think it's a really interesting thing that's happening though, because we're seeing it in real time, right? We saw this company start off direct to consumer. I don't know how long they've been in business. Maybe a couple months. And then almost immediately they pick up a distributor here in the States, and we know what the price was. And I'm curious and hopeful that the price now won't go up much if it goes up at all. But I'm just curious.
As a business person, I would say that's a super smart move because at least you're distributing a product that is excellent.
Yeah, I agree.
It's smart to try to sell a really good product.
Good product, yeah.
You find a great product, you're like, wow, how big is your company? All right, I'll buy a bunch of them.
Yeah,
let me sell a bunch because I know you're gonna sell a bunch anyway.
Right.
So let me get a little something and then.
Well, I mean, honestly, when I say it crossed my mind, it only crossed my mind because I thought, man, I wish I could do something like that. But number one, I don't have the means financially. Number two, I don't have the time. And number three is I like reviewing. And for me, that's a big conflict of interest, owning a brand. And then trying to review other stuff. I just like people wouldn't let me skate by with it. I would have to
just don't review your own stuff, Aaron.
Yeah, but then you're reviewing somebody else's stuff, and then
I see.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then people are going to be like, well, I don't know. It would bother me too much.
I want to make a speaker.
That's because you're a good dude with morals.
I don't know.
Maybe you're just worried about what people might say.
That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But if you actually do it and you're keeping on the up and up, maybe
it's probably going to be fine. There's probably going to be no issue at all.
I want to make a speaker. I would like to make a speaker, and I still want to make videos on YouTube. And if people don't trust my videos on YouTube, then they don't trust them.
No,
do whatever. I don't care. I don't care. And if you don't want to buy the speaker, then don't buy the speaker.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you. I just, it's different for me. I know how I feel when I see somebody doing something that I wouldn't do. And there's a line for me. You know what I'm saying? And that would be the line for me.
That's cool.
And honestly, if I wanted to, well, I'm not giving my secrets away. There are better ways to make money in this audio hobby than selling speakers.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can sell cables.
A lot of people. I'm just drumming up a little drama here, just
Let's do it, man.
A lot of people when they first start, including you, will say
it's a slippery slope.
I don't like this, the affiliate links. There's other people who've said that, and then they also do affiliate links now.
Yeah. And
so it's not that bad. Or did something change and all of a sudden it's not bad anymore? Or
I mean, I can speak for me. I was 100% against it because I felt like people were only reviewing stuff that they thought they could sell. And I still feel that way about a lot of reviewers. And I know that it sounds probably egotistical, but I'm just being honest. I'm so far beyond caring about what people think in regards to me only reviewing stuff in hopes that it sells, that doesn't bother me. I mean, I still get people say stuff now and again, and I might give a smart ass reply, but I'm not worried about that. Having said that, for me, again, this is just my opinion, having affiliate links and saying, I've got affiliate links. Here's an affiliate link. Here's my, take on this thing. I can review 100 different things and have 100 different affiliate links to 100 different products. Those are all competing products. I'm not selling a product that I own stock in and I own stake in. That's different. They're two completely separate things. So that's for me is why that's not something that I would want to do. If I had the opportunity to do that and I were in the position financially and with time to do something like that, to take on a product that I really believe in, then I would stop reviewing. That'd be it. I'd stop reviewing because it would just be. It's a big conflict of interest for me. That's where I stand on it. So if anybody else feels different, and that's fine. But that's where I stand on it.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I
already think I'm biased. So I'm friends with people in the industry, and you know, I get stuff. I get hooked up with stuff. I mean, there is bias. I think it's about what Big Jack is saying. Just be honest, and I'm good. So I recently did a sponsored video for the Lovesack.
Fuck your couch.
It's a straight up sponsored video, like straight up. The first thing I do, thanks Lovesack for doing this and this.
For sponsoring this video.
Okay. So
yeah, but what's your conflict of interest there? There's no conflict of interest with a couch.
Well,
and there's no conflict of interest with you taking on sponsors because you take on sponsors from other brands as well.
Well, the couch has a 5.1 system. And I was surprised. I was thinking that people in the comments are going to say, oh, man, you know, kind of hate on the price or something like that. But everybody was cool. Yeah. Everybody was, hey, great job. Great review. I was like, that's not a review.
It's more like a overview ad type deal, right?
I didn't say any of that. I didn't say it's a review. Just, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, some people think everything is a review. That comparison video I did with all those AVRs, dude was like, I don't know if I like this review. I'm like, well, it's not. I mean, if you thought it was a review, I if I was watching it and thought it was a review, I wouldn't like it either. It doesn't make sense.
We both agree. Yeah.
Yes, it was a product feature, and I don't know how much clearer I could possibly make it.
Right.
The first thing I said. I don't think it gets much clearer than that.
Right.
So
first thing you said was buy the special audio calibration toolkit. It was the best thing for your home theater. Bam.
Oh yeah. Look, I'll shill that all day. I'll shill Magic Beans all day. Yeah. You know, I think I'm being honest about all those things.
Speaking of which, I used Magic Beans and spatial audio calibration toolkit today to kind of like, you know, do some in-room measurements of these per listens.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know what you're doing there. Just keep talking. Keep going.
I don't know. It's no clipple, but you know.
Nah.
I don't think you would like to see what happened with them. It doesn't.
What do you mean what happened? Would you break them?
No, I mean the measurements.
What do you mean what happened with them?
Do you guys want to see the measurements? I don't know if you're ready for that.
Are they bad? They can't be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a problem.
They're not as bad as those RVHs, but there's definitely like a little V shape in the like 1,000 to 2,000 range.
I mean, are we talking like a couple dB, or are we talking like 5 dB and it's 3 octaves wide?
I don't know. You know me. I'm not too keen on reading graphs. Hold on. Let me see. Where is this at?
Okay, we can take a look. It could be interaction with your room also.
Well, that was the funny part. I just kept it on and I just walked back to the main listening position and the shit just started evening out.
Yeah, so I think what you're noticing there is that the drivers take longer. You have to be further away for them to all integrate properly.
Oh, right. Okay.
If you're too close, you might only be capturing these speakers up here and not the woofers down here. And so sometimes when you have a tower speaker or a line array or something, you know, depending on what you have, you may have to measure from further back as a starting point. I like to say, imagine if you have this this tower speaker, and you have your camera, right? You have your Pocket 3, and let's say first you want to get a bookshelf speaker, so it's just this tall, and so you can be a foot away and capture the woofer and the tweeter. But if you try to do a foot away from the tower, you're not going to see the bottom woofers.
Sure. Okay.
That makes sense. Go further back.
But these ones are definitely closer together in here's the at the main listening position.
Okay.
And then here's like
screenshots.
Near field.
Are you showing me a folder screenshots?
Oh, god damn it.
I'm always worried whenever you do a screen share.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
Like,
I get a little bit concerned.
All right. How about this? Can you see it now? Real-time analysis?
yeah.
Okay, so hold on a second though. Look at the
What's
scale on there.
Yeah.
I don't
Look at
know.
the scale.
About 5 dB or so between the.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
So you
this
know
is
it'd be better if you export to REW.
That was near field, and then here's main listening position.
Yeah, see, it starts to flatten out as you go further back.
Bro,
The
does
stuff
that
starts.
thing look bright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this was
Pop
like
in.
this is the center channel here,
Okay.
and then
Is
this
that
is the right
also
speaker.
the,
This is the
per
right
listen?
speaker. Yeah. It's the
Okay,
per
so
listen
you're
center, and this is
there,
the
and
right
then
speaker.
as you go further back?
Yeah.
Huh.
But
Okay.
this is like a non-treated room and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I get it.
with a
Well,
bunch of reflection, you were there. You know the space. Nothing's changed.
I'm very interested in seeing
I wasn't there.
what happens with that. Can you send me the MBM file? So, if you're on the same computer, if you open Magic Beans, you can export MBM, Magic Beans measurement, and then I can load that on mine and then do whatever I want.
I didn't take a measurement. It was just a RTA.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I was just checking it out.
Okay.
They've got measurements on their website and don't look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
I'm not a professional.
Listen, dude, it's probably your hand. Your hand. You're holding the mic like like this.
I have it on a tripod.
You got your hand
dude.
like
I have
right
it on
in
a
the microphone's
tripod.
right there.
I videotaped myself measuring
like
it.
this.
Like, check it out. Check it out, guys. I'm gonna move the cancellation from
He's
2K to
measuring,
4K.
measuring like this.
Yeah.
Where's my Pocket 3?
Why's he doing the
I
rock
want to be part of the club.
DDP.
So I have a question about the Clipple method.
Oh, okay.
What is the actual distance what's the standard distance that it's supposed to measure from? Or can it measure from any distance and still arrive at the correct
The Clipple itself measuring from?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the starting point measurement?
Yeah, it depends. So you're trying to make a cylinder around the speaker.
Mhm.
So if it's a really tall speaker, then you might want to back it out some. Or if it's not tall, I'm sorry, wide speaker or deep speaker, then you might want to move it further out. Typically, I just say as long as I'm within, as long as the mic is the distance. How do I word this? I put the microphone, the distance from the baffle as equal to the depth of the speaker. Does that make sense? So the speaker's 8 inches deep. The microphone is 8 inches off the baffle.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And it kind of works. Well, I mean, it works, but it does depend. You know, like some speakers are more complex.
Is it based on a 2-meter measurement though? Or extrapolates out so that it's equal to 2 meters?
Yeah, it spits it out in 2 meters. It's because that's the standard.
So the thing that I was wondering is,
well, just to clear this up real fast in case somebody's wondering. So the standard is referenced to 2 meters distance, or I'm sorry, is taken, supposed to be taken at 2 meters different distance, but then it's referenced back to 1 meter and 2.83 volts for sensitivity. So I think it's kind of dumb to do that, but I guess at some point along the way that somebody said this is going to be our standard for sensitivity, and it's going to be taken at 1 meter, and they want to make sure that they're far enough back to capture the entire combination of all the drivers, and then they're going to just go back so they decrease or increase it by 6 decibels.
So my question was, sometimes, well, for near field monitors, you're going to be closer than 2 meters.
Yeah.
That's 6 feet. I'm not 6 feet away from any studio monitor.
Right. Yeah.
Then
you can change it in the software.
Dude.
But one thing I've noticed is with the CEA 2034 that references at 2 meters, what Chano was showing is a lot of times the dip at the crossover for the tweeter will start to go away as you get further back.
Right.
The drivers start to integrate.
Yeah.
And so I've noticed a lot of speakers that I've reviewed, they do smooth out around 6 feet. But I just recently did an Atom T7V.
Okay.
And they also smooth out at 6 feet, but I'm not listening to those from 6 feet away. I'm listening from arm's length distance. What is that?
Right. Yeah.
So at that distance, there is a dip. So what am I to believe then?
You get the measurements for the right distance that you care about then.
Okay.
I mean, that's really it.
That's what I was confused about, because I'm like, well, the Clipple is showing that there's no dip here, but that's at 6 feet. I'm taking the measurement from the distance I'm actually at, and I'm seeing a dip. I'm like, which one should I look at?
Though, if it's a monitor, it should be designed for near field listening. So the drivers should if you're a meter out, unless it's a big monitor, and you probably don't need to be sitting that close.
That's where I was at with that speaker.
Yeah,
exactly what you said. I'm like, why is it? I get that 2 feet is the standard, or not 2 feet, 2 meters, but I'm not. I need this to some closer, because I do hear what the measurement is showing.
Yeah,
and there's also a discrepancy at times, because with Magic Beans, once you start using it, we do start at a distance about 1.5 meters is a starting distance, and we move back to about 3 meters.
Yeah.
Just to get an average. And sometimes you'll start to see a dip there that doesn't show up in the Clipple stuff.
Yeah.
Because it is closer. So
I mean, that makes sense. There could be other reasons too that I'm unaware of, and maybe I'll have a better feel for what you're talking about when I run through the process myself. But yeah, I mean, if you're close to the individual drive units and they're not summing at some distance away, or whatever distance you are, then yeah, you'd see a dip there too, for sure.
Okay. Oh, that's useful info.
My dog is bugging.
What's up, SC Audio? We got some start comments. Scadio.
Scar Audio.
Scar. Sounds like Mario.
You know about Scar. Joe knows.
I don't know. I can't
get
with
it. I
can't get with the I can't get with the logo and the I don't feel good about rocking that for some reason. It just doesn't. I look at it and I think of Scar from Lion King, and I just can't support Scar from Lion King.
Oh man.
Yeah. He just went like that, and then he threw off his brother off, threw off Mufasa off the cliff. Can't get with that.
That's not cool, man. That's not cool at all. I think one of these recent videos I did, I was really disappointed that nobody caught it. I threw a picture of an Audioban subwoofer on there, with like the chrome dust cap stuff and all that, and nobody said anything. I was thinking, like, surely somebody's gonna catch that and be like, dude, why you put an Audioban subwoofer on there? Nobody said anything.
All shiny. I heard that some of those are worth some money now, because
no way.
Yeah, people want those old school.
Oh, shut up. I'm getting on eBay right now.
Look up those old school chrome Audioban subwoofers and see.
Yeah, I'm eBaying it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. There's one on here for $150. It's been used.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
There's one for $399. I mean, I should sort by price and see. Oh no, I clicked the wrong button. Oh, there's somebody just down the road from me that has a pair for $325.
So we have people correcting me about I haven't. So feet, not meters. 1.5. I don't remember, man.
What
is it? Let me look at my app here.
Oh, your own app? You don't know what it is?
No. This guy a lot of people know more about it than I do now.
That's awesome. They're like, bro, you don't even know your own stuff.
Okay, what does it say here? It says how to do the moving mic method for true target. Okay. The reason we use what is the answer? If you're low, here's a different view. Okay. Some speed goes up as you tap. Okay. Place to start. Well, let me pause that so we don't have to hear that. 0.5 meters. 0.5 meters.
Okay.
0.5 meters to 1 meter. Sorry. So 1.6 feet to 3.2 feet. But yeah, I also say in the video that sometimes you need to measure further back. And it's tough to say. Like, how do you know how far back to measure? I just typically say, look at the distance between the lowest woofer and the highest driver.
Yeah.
And do at least 1 times that distance. If it's
Yeah.
really small, that's probably a decent starting point in a room. Now, the further back you get, the worse your measurement is going to be as far as reflections.
Right.
But sometimes you have to do that. Yeah, it's tough. In room is tough to get in room measurements that are reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 meters. Yeah, 3 meters would be my MLP.
All right, now you got me looking at subwoofers on eBay. I'm trying to find the MTX jackhammer. I wonder if anybody's ever sold one of those on eBay.
MTX jackhammer.
Yeah, it was like a 22-inch subwoofer in like 2005 or 9 or something. I can't remember now.
Or some other old school subwoofers I could. M-Mats, was that a thing?
Oh yeah.
M-Mats.
Here, I'm gonna pull up the jackhammer. Jackhammer.
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
I like that. Deep Thoughts. All right,
Deep Thoughts.
jackhammer.
Damn, look at that thing.
Look at that ridiculousness.
Is that a basketball?
That's
no
a basketball.
Way. Get out. That's not one of those mini ones. That's a full-size basketball.
Look at
MTX.
22-inch, 4,000.
That's just a wannabe W7.
Bro.
It's just a wannabe JLW7. That's all it is.
Got that JL love over there.
It makes me think of the JBL GTI series.
For sure. Yeah, I'm totally biased. JL audio. That's one area where, like in car audio, you could be a brand snob, or what do you call it? Brand something.
This is what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
This thing makes me think of that. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
but this one is a 22-inch and this one's a 12. But they had a 15-inch version of the JBL GTI.
A throw up or something, bro? Relax.
That was a remix.
Fanboy, yeah. I guess a fanboy is what I'm looking for. In car audio, yeah.
Better than being a boy fan.
JL, all about JL. I know you're. What is your Morel?
He likes Morel.
What are you talking about, man?
Back
he wants more L.
MB Quart.
MB Quart. I haven't heard that.
Back in the day.
I had some MB Quart tweeters in my A pillars at one point in time.
Bro, MB Quart back in the day.
I had a friend who like totally
and I remember thinking, man, these surrounds are so soft. They were like really pliable.
These surrounds are just so soft.
So cuddly.
Man, maybe that's why they're so good. Yeah.
Dude.
They're probably just wondering if they were even good. Were the old ones even good, or were they just higher sensitivity? So when you throw them in, you're like, oh, louder, better.
That's exactly what it was.
So I did find something that is new.
Okay.
Revolution just announced this today.
Okay, let's see it.
Oh, is that
While you're looking for that, we'll get back to whatever you're looking at.
What?
They got a new range of NAS drives, obviously for Europe. They got the NAS Ultra, the NAS, and so up to this. There you go. This is new news. I just saw this posted a few hours ago.
Okay.
I think it's like 3,999 euros, and then 24.99, and then 19.99 or something like that.
Yeah, I want to get one. Ugreen was hitting me up. I might do a video with them, because if they want to send me
you just have to get them the drives. They got to get you the drives, because that's the other thing. What do you call it? When I did the one for what is it, the PD?
Yeah.
I luckily had a connection at Seagate, and they just gave me 2 drives.
Okay.
So
because they're Ugreen is hitting me up about their new NAS, and I said it's a 6-bay, and I'm like, are you guys gonna provide hard drives? Because if I'm gonna spend thousands of dollars on hard drives, that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna spend money to promote your NAS drive. I'm cool already as is. I don't really need it.
And then what are you gonna put on there, Joe?
Videos and
You're gonna edit videos on there?
I think I could. That might be useful. Or sometimes just about having some of your old B-roll. So if you need to make a new video, you can pull from the old B-roll, or I can just download it from my YouTube video.
Yeah, there's that, and then what do you call it? Don't you use Google Drive a lot?
Yeah, but that's gonna eat up that storage super fast.
No.
I mean, I want a ton of storage.
Let's see what
What'd you find, Aaron? You come up with something good?
Dude, I just logged into my old photo bucket account. This is like a treasure trove.
Of what?
Of my old like car audio stuff, man. We got to do this, y'all. Let's go, man. Let's go. Look, look at that. That was some Image Dynamics ID Max 12s ran at IB. This was 2008. 2008, bro. I've been in this game for a while. That's crazy. And then Macintosh, I had a Macintosh CD player.
What?
I mean, we're going toward the new. That's their DAC that I had. Special cable. That's my house.
You could be a fanboy of that. It's fine.
That, man. Audison DSP. Oh, that's when I switched over to Acoustic Elegance.
Why do you have so many different? Doesn't that cost a lot of money to be switching from one product to another?
Sickness, bro. It was a sickness.
I'm just saying, if you keep switching stuff, doesn't that cost a lot of money to do that?
I was just playing around. I would sell it off.
That sounds like a pain.
Yeah, I mean, but
you're not going to get the same amount back.
I didn't have a kid. Look, I was doing testing. Look, I had a scope in 2009.
Wait a second. What are you saying? Wait, you didn't have a kid when all this was happening?
I didn't have my daughter until 2010.
Okay, so you got that oscilloscope there.
What Aaron is saying, you could have all these cool toys if you don't have children.
Yeah.
Are you testing like how loud before you start clipping?
Yep. Yeah,
like,
I was testing the head unit.
What's your loudest that you can go on the volume before you get with a clean signal?
Look at that square wave. It's not even like it's like a trapezoid wave.
Yeah, it's not a square.
Look, I was making my own cables out of Belden cable.
Oh, look, Aaron's gonna start selling cables now.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, dang, Anderson Power. Oh yeah, I gutted my back seat. I had the metal bracing. I cut all that out and just left, so it would act like a periodic enclosure.
Is that a quick disconnect thing?
Yeah, it was Anderson Power Pole. This is my house, my first house. Yeah. Thanks, son.
Oh, Joe, 24 terabyte hard drives are $479.
Nah, I don't want. They can provide all that.
Right. 20 gigabytes are around $400, so that's a lot. 6 of those, $2,400.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Look,
and it's not like
ever.
You could do like some 10 terabyte ones, but then you're like, why am I doing 60 terabytes? Yeah,
bro.
Old school head units,
bro. Hold on, though.
How many times have you rebuilt that?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like upwards of maybe 20 to 30, maybe. Look, my friend Seth, I went over his house. I had to cut a hole through my firewall in here, and I didn't have a jack, so I went over his house. And he didn't have the pole for the jack. So he stuck like this old wrench or something on there to make it work. It was awesome. Let me keep going. Oh, that was my ex. Keep going.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Run.
My first flip out. And I was
Mario World. Dude. You're like those guys. Oh, dude. So it was like a straight up car show I was at, but it was a bunch of like Teslas or whatever on Saturday. And they all had a pair of controllers. Like there's like PlayStation, Xbox. This car had PlayStation in it. This one had
what you do, man.
Xbox and like PS5
competition.
You know what I realized? So I'm bumping in the van.
Yeah.
Roll up to the soccer camp bumping.
Spot. Yeah, bumping.
And I roll down the windows. I don't care. Like I want to let people know that I'm arriving.
You're like the riffraff has entered the building.
You know what I'm saying? Like the old school days where you queue up the song that you want to hear.
Yeah. No, you queue up the song that you want everyone else to hear.
You gotta queue it up like as if it was an accident. It just happened to be the one that you
happened to be
I queue it up, bro. I queue it up. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
I
that's what
cue
you
it up
gotta
so that
do.
when I arrive, it's just the exact track that I want to hear. I roll down the windows and I let everybody know that, Mariano family's coming. We're here.
We're here.
So what I realized is
What'd you realize?
nowadays it's way less likely that somebody's going to have a bumping system.
No, that's true.
Correct.
Way less, because
Correct.
these systems are, a lot of stock systems are somewhat decent and they're way harder to try to upgrade. So now if you have a system, that means that you're about it. It's not that easy to do now. So you have to
Agreed.
invest a little bit of money.
Agreed.
Some
Yes.
time. So, it's
Without
more
a doubt,
special.
man.
I'm trying to sell you guys on the fact that if you want to show that you're a baller, then you better have a good car audio system. If you're rocking stock, that's cute. That's
Yeah.
cute.
Speaking
That's
of which,
cute.
I test drove a couple of cars, and I've never been in a Volvo SUV, especially in a long time. But they have Bowers and Wilkins Dolby Atmos system in there, and I have a little picture. They have the separate tweeter in the middle, Joe. It's in the middle, that's just a lone tweeter in the middle of the dash. I'm like, is this like Joe's Center channel?
And hey, you know what? That system is probably pretty cute. It's probably cute.
Yeah,
probably
it's cute.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's cute.
It's probably okay. All right. I'm about to blow y'all's minds.
Okay.
All right. This is legit. First mini DSP ever reviewed.
Ever reviewed?
Yep.
Like on YouTube?
No, this is 2010.
2010.
It didn't, dude. They didn't even come with a case back then.
Straight
I
up.
remember that. And they had little standoffs.
Uh-huh.
And look, mini DSP for you. I mean, dude, this is old school. This is how it came. It came in one of these little packages, and that's your cable.
Oh, that's not even a 2x4 HD. That's a 2x4.
Yeah, I mean, this is seriously, this was like the very first one. Not the first one, but like the first model. Nobody had used it in car audio. I saw it on the DIY audio forum, and I emailed them, and they sent me one out to try. And so that's what I was doing here. I was playing around with it against an Audison DSP. And then I moved it to my desktop speakers. I don't even know. Are these the Aperion speakers I used to have? Dude, Aperion. I'm just saying, man.
Did you put that thing in the box?
No, this is what I did with it. Look, I used some ABS and just stuck it in some ABS and used it on my desktop to play around with it too.
Hardcore.
I mean, it just runs deep, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
January
car audio
3rd.
is for sure the most complicated. What is going on here?
That's my voltage dividers. Oh my God. Because I don't want to fry my sound card that I was using. Yep, here you go. True RTA. Yep.
Are those your little notes there?
Yep, those are my notes. This is my test bench back then. Good Lord.
That's
awesome. Yeah, I was testing out. I think you and I might have talked about this at one point. The loudness feature on different CD players and stuff. So I was measuring at different volumes, the different
This is the total scientist right here. Look at him.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Neutral, hear, and feel. That sounds like some trust your ears stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one is. I really don't know. But they're different numbers too.
Your old pictures are outing you, Aaron.
I know. There's
neutral, hear, feel, but they're all numbered sequentially. Loudness off here. 1, 2, 3,
and
5,
feel
20, 43. Oh, okay. Then I renumbered them: low, mid, high. That might have been a DSP setting. Neutral, hear, and feel. Maybe.
No, maybe you could just hear it and then you can feel it.
Yeah,
that's
I
all.
like that.
Because look, it's five. That was 5 hertz. Is that what that was?
Or no, that was just number 5.
That was just volume, right? Okay, so you could feel it more than you can hear it.
It's so this is volume, yeah. But these right here are settings that I say.
So then that's wait, hold on a second. Let's go back.
Test number 3, volume at 40, loudness off. Test number 2, volume 20, loudness off. Loudness off. Test 1, volume. Dude.
That paint.
You probably was. Probably a screenshot from True RTA and loaded into Paint. Let's see what is for clipping. Volume load. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
All that and probably got smoked by somebody with a graphic.
Oh yeah, I know it. At least I haven't been doing this for years, spend thousands and thousands of dollars and then get smoked by somebody in a second show ever with about $400 in parts. Because that would suck.
Oh man. Oh, that's
Look,
funny.
Alpine versus a Pioneer testing. Look at this crazy stuff, man. Look at that ±3. Dude, I mean, for real.
I really want you to get back into it and then go nuts. Like I want you to go nuts and see like what you can do and really try to optimize a car system and just like the proof is really in winning.
Oh,
isn't it?
Oh man.
Like you have to.
I mean, it is,
like,
but it
constantly win, and no excuse like, oh, the judges, judge this and that. You know what? If you believe in the fact that objective measurements do align with subjective listening,
yes,
then on average, shouldn't be an issue. On average, you should constantly just win. I think.
This is my op amp testing. Look at this scale though is like intense. Like it's like at 1 decibel from one end to the other, just about.
Okay,
different op amps.
Hey, that's kind of interesting though. That shows more than Amir was doing some testing on op amps.
Dude, I mean, listen.
I thought that you can. I think that there is a measurable difference.
I think there probably is.
Kind of more like what you're. Hey, I have that old school. Look at that DSP. Which one is that? Is that
this one or this one?
Oh,
or this one? It's a Helix. Yeah.
Old school one.
Is that the original Helix DSP?
Yeah, the original DSP.
Yeah.
0.1.
Yeah, these 2013 is when these pictures were taken. So, oh yeah, look, this is my remote. One of my friends found these things on eBay, and so you could custom like make them match up to your. What's the word I'm looking for here? You could program them. They're IR, and you could program them to match up with any aftermarket radio. Jeez Louise!
Oh,
look at this, dude. This is when I was explaining, like doing a tutorial about like what soundstage and like how to set up time alignment. Oh, this is an example I gave. Like this is clear. Like when you got time alignment and level matching set up, you can hear the singers distinctly, the drummers in the back, and then this is like when you hear them at different points. Like if it's messed up, you know, they're all going to be on one side. All right, I'm gonna get out of here.
I like it. I like this stuff. I feel like if you did more stuff with car audio and related it, it would directly relate to the stuff that we're talking about for home audio. It's just we take it for granted that some speaker designer already came up with the correct crossover point, and hopefully they did a good job of matching the directivity. These are all things that you have to do manually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at this install. I went from a Kef coax right here to a Satori
Kef coax
mid-range and a ScanSpeak tweeter behind it, and I had to set these to be delayed back there.
Every time you mention ScanSpeak, I always think
about that. Oh, I see. You're trying to corner load that tweeter.
Yeah. Oh man, this CD player was the bee's knees, bro. I got this set up for like dirt cheap and I flipped it, but I had such a hard time getting rid of it because I wanted to keep it so bad. Oh,
did you see that new head unit that looks like an old school one?
I don't think so.
What do you mean? Does it have like a CD slot or a tape slot?
Yeah, but let's see.
Dude, I think I'm just going to do a live stream one night and just go through all those old photos because that was fun. I'm going to bore my audience to death, but we can all do it together.
Look at this retro head unit. The cassette deck.
Oh, I did see that. Yep. I
Look at
saw that. But hold on, does
Oh,
it
wow.
actually?
Pioneer? Is that real?
Yeah.
Is that AI or is that real?
No, that's a
it's
real thing. I
And
think.
then I think when you lift that thing up, it just
Yeah.
has a USB. There's no
Ports?
tape, but it looks
Yeah.
old school.
So the one thing I was wondering when I saw that, does it have a USB like on the back that could route into a glove box or something? Because, dude, in my opinion, having that lid flip up and you plug a USB into the front of it, that defeats the entire purpose.
Oh, as far as like how clean it looks.
Yeah, because then it just like looks kind of dumb.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, it would have made more sense if you flip it up and maybe there's a SD card slot. I don't know what could you do with it. It's just to make it look old.
Yeah.
Does your car stereo right now, does it have a volume control knob?
It does, but it stays in the console and it's always maxed out. So that way, I use my head unit for basically like throttling back the gain. You know what I mean?
So what do you use to change the volume? Just your steering wheel control?
Yeah.
Don't you miss using the volume knob?
No, my steering wheel control has a roller on it, dude. I love
Oh,
that
you
thing.
have the roll. Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. I love that thing.
All right. Just because on the Lexus that I'm working on,
Uh-huh.
I really want to keep the stock head unit because it has a volume knob, and I don't want to press up and down on the steering wheel control.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I get that.
I want the volume knob, and that's it. Like, I don't want to touch a screen to change the volume.
Right.
I want to change the volume with a volume knob, and
Yeah.
that's proving to be very difficult.
Yep. Dude, everything. I was in all these different electric vehicles, and I'm like, how do I turn on the air conditioner? How do I turn it? They're like, oh, it's all on the screen. I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't like it. But you know what I do like? I like some of those. Dude, I'm going to get a motorcycle license because some of these electric motorcycles, I got 2 companies ready to send me some electric motorcycles. So I got to get a motorcycle license. I got to ride it in their little course. Woo! Legit, bro.
What's up?
You get to like 80 miles an hour on that
You want to
thing.
hook up your new ride? Nice system in it.
Yeah, bro.
I think all of us, everybody who's part of Daily HiFi Crew, you gotta roll up with a nice bumping system. No,
that's
stock,
right.
loud.
Can we do that in a motorcycle?
Don't be
Or
slack.
do I
Yeah,
have, does it have to be like a Harley?
No, you can have a system, but everybody can. Yeah, if you want to be part of the crew, you cannot have a stock car stereo system. I don't care how good you think it is. It's probably not that good.
Well, I mean, Audi just announced that all their Bang & Olufsens are gonna have Dolby Atmos in them. I don't know what year they're starting, but that just dropped today.
Yay!
Yay! Yay!
Yay!
Yay!
You ever heard that?
What is going on right now?
No, it's just like when you're. Sounds like the Kardashians. They're like, yay,
Oh.
you did it.
Yeah. People who shouldn't get fame.
Yay, you did it. They're not happy for you at all.
You sound just like them, man.
Yeah, that's how
There's
I
a
feel
couple
about
of-
that. Yeah, they got Dolby Atmos. Yay. If you can't even get stereo right in a car, that's already difficult to do.
Yeah.
Trying to do Atmos in a car is extremely difficult to do.
Yay.
That's
Yay!
Yay.
There's a question here. Somebody's asking about cheapest AVR that's got pre-outs. I mean, anything used would be cheap.
Yeah.
Denon X3800H, Onkyo TXRZ50. TXRZ30 is lower in model number, but I think it's higher price. So the RZ50's been out longer.
Mhm.
Pioneer LX505. I think those are going to be your cheapest options.
I was thinking about it earlier
What's that?
because you were doing that comparison of the different AVRs.
Uh-huh.
And it almost seems like don't take a chance, just get a Denon. They remind me of like Porsche and Rolex and these companies that they barely change anything, but it's because they don't need to change anything.
Sure.
They make a small iteration, they change one thing, tiny thing, and then that's the next year's model. Then and it looks the same, everything, but it's because
It actually works.
it
works.
It's worked
It works.
for a long time. So Dirac works properly, unlike the Onkyo for the longest time. So it's that the Onkyo is a great deal.
The Onkyo is a great deal.
But the Dirac live bass control wasn't working.
Wasn't
for a year or so.
Yeah,
that's a long time. Yeah. That's too long.
But and then if you run Odyssey, you know what's going to happen to the bass. It's going to get neutered, which is why if you are buying a Denon AV receiver, you should pick up the Spatial Audio Calibration Toolkit at spatialcd.com. Do yourself a favor. Do your ears a self. Do your family a favor, and make sure the bass is bumping.
Let's see. Is that your sales? That's your.
That's my pitch. Yeah,
that's your.
You polished it up a little bit. That's pretty good.
I would say, you know what? If you have a stock system, you need to change it up. Take pride in you're spending a lot of time in your car. You know how they say it's mattress. You buy a mattress because you're spending a lot of time sleeping. Okay, that's cool. But I bet you spend a lot of time in your car, and you're rocking a stock stereo.
Dude, that's gotta suck being you.
I
mean, that's almost as bad as using like Dolby PL2 or something.
Yeah. So
the funny part is, dude, you have an AVR that does.
I know I do. Atmos. I know it. I was just talking to somebody about that last week, actually.
Yeah.
All talk.
Don't
all bark and no bite over there.
I know it. I'm terrible.
In your car, don't do that.
Hey man, don't shift the topic here.
Don't do that. Don't what is $30 headphones?
Doesn't make Atmos any good.
All right, Joe. You talked about the volume knob. Look at this.
Oh,
what's that?
That's a volume knob. I put it on the
what the hell?
Driver, so that way when I'm driving, I could just.
Hey, bro, that's your install.
Did you just leave your arm there?
You decided you installed that, huh? You did that install?
Yeah,
You decided like, hey, you know the most convenient place?
Look at that. I was going to run an 8-inch coaxial and kicks.
Is that your volume control?
Yeah.
But what I just showed you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my system volume control. It's how to look at all this beautiful.
Hold on a second though. Only
I'm gonna go back to
the volume. Your passenger couldn't change the volume, right?
Look at this.
Look, it's like isn't that like a?
That looks like some.
It's like a cartoon creature.
It looks like a tweeter array to me.
It is, man.
It is array.
What is that? Some sort of Tecton thing?
Look at that. I was going to run a center channel, but now I've got to go back and find that. Where'd it go?
Wait. Yeah. I'm just laughing that the volume control is only for you to change.
Oh, there.
Yep.
Change it.
That's it. And it's tied into this JL DSP thing.
That's funny.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Well, I want you to start competing again, do your own tunes and put all the knowledge that you have into it, because you have a crazy amount of knowledge and sometimes you just got to flex on people.
Dude, Joe just wants to beat you in the competition. That's all.
It probably does.
Yeah.
Well, I like to compete.
Like, well, if we're in the same location,
I like to compete.
I might.
It's okay. Everybody likes to compete.
Like to compete. So
you like to compete. Everybody likes to compete.
Yeah, you have to compete. So I would like to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to hear some of the crazy systems that constantly win.
Yeah.
Let's see what's up.
Oh man, I'm having way too much fun right now.
You know what system?
Are you planning on doing anything like that and just getting back in there and just showing everybody, flexing on everybody?
I don't know.
Here,
no, why?
Here's the flex.
Because you got to drive.
Here's a flex, Joe.
B&W
tweeter right in the middle of the dashboard. That's the center channel, bro.
Dude, it pops up.
Channel. It looks cool.
It pops up.
It looks cool.
This is the Volvo. You guys have you guys test driven or driven a Volvo?
I have. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I like them.
It's nice. It was nice.
Oh wow.
The interior was definitely nice. The screen is nice, but like as soon as I got that thing to 70, fucking steering wheel would like shake like this. I'm like, oh
no.
Man, if I'm living at like 85, 90, like that's not.
Has anybody turned their the side windows into waveguides?
I've seen people do something similar to that,
where like
they'll
it
put
actually like the
molding.
waveguide goes into it and like that becomes part of it.
Yeah, they put like molding up to kind of like steer the sound a little bit, but I don't know.
No, no
I mean,
good.
if you put a tweeter in that little cell panel, you kind of got a waveguide anyway, right?
But that's a
So
weird shape. It's not a good shape.
I do agree with you.
Versus somebody who kind of like really tried to.
Yeah, there's a difference in it just kind of working out to be something similar to that versus actually making it like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
What is some Aaron, were you thinking Hafler surround? Somebody's asking.
Yeah, at one point I was. Yeah, Hafler, Hafle.
Hafler, yeah.
Yeah.
What about it?
That's just like a matrix surround. So, and somebody would have to fill me in because I can't 100% remember, but I think that was just pretty much like R minus L minus R on the rears.
It is,
some
yeah.
mono up front.
Yeah, that's just a Hafler circuit.
Yeah, okay.
Just doing that. I used to do that on those old Iowa stereos.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man.
Get you some surround sound on those. Yeah. I want to see. I want everybody to compete. I would like everybody to compete.
All right. This one. This is before you like had good DSPs with up mixing from stereo. But this was the Rockford RFQ 5000.
Rockford Fosgate, baby.
Yeah, dude. So this thing would upmix. Yes, center channel, sub out, rear left, front right, stuff like that. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
This thing was pretty legit. Look, Pro Logic 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember searching high and low for that thing, and when I found it, like a good one, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So I snatched it up quickly.
So do you think if you really went all out, and said, "All right, I'm gonna just do the best I can," you think you would smoke everybody?
Nah, I think there's a lot of really good competition in car audio.
Really?
Come on, Aaron. You gotta be confident. You gotta be like, yeah, I'm gonna smoke them.
I don't know, man, because everything is a little bit different, right? And so some cars may be better suited for one type of install than others. And I think some people sometimes just get lucky, and then some people know exactly what they're doing, and they buy a car with certain install in mind, and they go all out. And then there's the judging aspect, right? Because just like you said, you're not going to hear excuses, but it's the truth, man. You get them in there early in the morning. If it's really bright, it's a problem. You get them there later in the afternoon, it might not be a problem. If they've got tinnitus, if it's a little bit bright, they're going to hate it, so it's always a factor. And then it's really regional too. It was very standard, and I don't know if it's like this anymore, but for sure it was extremely standard to the point where people in California would get upset. So Mecca was centered around the Tennessee area because the guy who owned Mecca at the time was in Tennessee. So a lot of the shows that were hosted were in this area. And we had the benefit of having all these judges and stuff like that. Most of the scores, if you got like above, I'd say like an 85 in Mecca in any of the classes, you were doing extremely well. Well, then you had the Mecca guys out on the West Coast, the Papasins and all those guys, who would get judged, and they'd get like 90s and 95s. And then they'd come here for finals and get our judges, and they'd get humbled really quick. They'd get like 70s, low 80s, like they were not getting 90s and 95s. So it was a really big deal back then. I remember, man, it was the good old days. We used to talk shit on each other all the time about it. Like, like the Facebook groups on the forum, they'd be like, man, yeah, I scored a 95, got first place. I'm like, cool. We'll see what happens in October. I bet you get a 70.
So they'd have to drive all the way over there?
Some of them, yeah. They would trailer their cars out or drive them out. I remember, you should ask Richard next time you talk to him, but they owned, I can't remember if they must have trailered it. They had a smart car that they competed with.
I'm not going to Alabama.
And they must have trailered it. Yeah. Well, finals this year is in Alabama. It's an hour from my house.
I'm going to drive over there?
And you can always just have your car shipped.
Ship your car. That's too much.
What the rich people did.
Ship your car over to go compete in no.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know it. That's why I
That's
was like,
a
no, I'm
very
good.
big commitment
Yeah,
to go over there to go compete.
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
hear you.
can't you just have the same judge go to the different places?
They
Maybe
do that.
travel.
I don't know. They might have a West Coast finals for some orgs. So I don't keep up with the orgs now. There's more now than there used to be.
Yeah.
But at one point they had finals out in, I think it was Oregon.
Mhm.
And they might have had them in California too, but they would have like an East-West
Mhm.
kind of deal for a while.
Yeah.
Joe
So,
just wants to beat you, bro. He wants to beat you at something.
I want to beat everybody.
oh, please.
I want to
Bro,
beat everybody. I'm gonna beat
couldn't-
everybody.
You
I'm
couldn't
the
beat
best.
me.
I'm the best.
No way, bro.
I'm the
He's the best in the West.
I'd crush you. Dude, I'd roll up in there with a 31 band graphic EQ and I'd just own you, man.
31 band. Do you make it look do a smiley face?
I
or a
would
V?
mop
But
the
you know what?
floor.
That's like I was saying earlier. You have to prove it. I can say that I'm making the
Yeah.
claim, but at the end of the day, that's just a claim. That doesn't mean anything. I got to go and prove it.
You do.
That's why I want to do this other car, get this one done. So now, if I have two cars that are pretty good, that
2 cars. Yeah.
I got 2 cars.
cars and cheap, the cheapest crap you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
How could you possibly win with such cheap
Man,
garbage?
My friend Kevin competed like that for years. He competed with those. I think I've told you this. He competed with the little 2-inch Aura Whispers that were like $10 on Matasound, and he would win his class like for
Wait.
2 or 3 years in a row.
You're saying he had the beard, the facial hair tweeters,
Oh,
Yeah.
got the facial hair tweeters.
Yes, he did.
and he was winning, huh?
Facial hair of tweeters.
So we'll see. We'll see. I think that should be the true test.
Yeah.
You know, because there's no other competitions on home theater. There's no who has the best home theater, and somebody goes around and maybe you should start something like that. Who has the best 2-channel system, and then you kind of go and that might be interesting. Why wouldn't that be possible?
Oh man, you had to ABX them.
No, just you're the judge. What if you were the judge? You'd go and
That's easy. I'd just give them to my friend or whoever was willing to pay me.
oh, I see. Oh,
That's how it's done, bro. Don't you know?
oh,
That's
man.
too much.
I mean, I could always just. Yeah. No.
Who do you think has the best sounding 2-channel system? I bet the guys at Stereophile or some of these reviewers, you'd go and you're like, dude, your system sounds like crap, bro.
Dude, I will tell you
What's
that
that system is garbage.
back
Your
in the day,
system
it was extremely common we'd have. So you had competitions, but you also had like local get-togethers. And so I would host some, and friends would host some, and you'd go to like the big get-togethers, and there would be these people who talked on the forums all the time about how great their systems were, and you'd go and listen, and you'd be like, "What? Like, what is going on here?" I remember one dude. I had a website that would, I don't think I had the website then. I think it was just the Excel sheet, and it would calculate time alignment for you. It's what the website's built off of now. It's just built off an Excel sheet. But anyway, I went to the North Carolina meetup, and this dude was like, "Hey man, can I get you a list of my car and like help me out with it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." On a list, I'm like, "Yeah, that's not right." And he's like, "Man, I used your sheet. I mean, it's got to be your sheet then." And I was like, "Well, can I have your laptop?" Because the DSP tied to the laptop. And he's like, "Yeah." He went and got it for me. And then the mid range, I can't remember if it was right or left, but whatever it was, I just hit polarity, and I was like, "There you go." And I got out of the car and walked away. I was like, "Yeah, you got the numbers right. You just forgot to hook it up right."
Right.
So,
Oh man, it's fun.
yeah,
Hold
it
on.
is.
Plot twist: Joe is rebadging Scan Speaks with Scar logos to sound more.
Hey man, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, I think we should compete. I think maybe we should do home audio, home theater. Should we go around to home theaters and see and review them?
Isn't that what Michael does?
Does he review them though?
No, I don't think he does.
No, you got to go and review them and
Yeah,
give a
yeah.
score.
I think that's
I'm
more
gonna
fun.
I'm just gonna use a score sheet from the car audio stuff.
Car audio, yeah.
Perfectly
Yeah.
placed, defined imaging.
Right, yeah. Be like, I don't know. This imaging kind of sucks.
Yeah, I'm just
Like-
gonna use the same sheet, and then we should just charge people though. Like if you want us to come and
like
review,
judging, like car audio
you
competition.
You got to pay up, but it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, if you want my opinion on how to make your system sound better, this is like consulting. You gotta pay
And
me,
then
bro.
and then I'll consult. I'll tell you what to do or not do, and you got to treat me to a nice dinner
Yeah,
and put me in a nice hotel.
for sure. You gotta fly me out there, right?
And that's default. That doesn't get you any special anything. Like that's just part of that's just to even get me out there.
Yeah.
Shauna, what do you say? You want to start reviewing some studio setups, some studio Atmos setups, and say, you know what, you guys' system actually it's not good.
You got to do it with your spatial
You're
audio.
testing. Yeah, you're gonna run the spatial audio calibration toolkit.
Yeah.
You're gonna play the test on. You're gonna be like, nope, that doesn't sound like my voice, guys. I'm here. That doesn't sound like my voice. We gotta fix this. I don't hear you, bro. I don't hear you. I don't
He's
hear
waiting
you.
for you to let him talk.
I had it
Okay.
on mute while I was eating that cookie.
Perfect.
Tell
Dude,
me.
like, I'd be like, here I am. Why does it not sound like me? What's going on? But the coolest thing was when Rock AM was here. He's got like 100 billion streams on Spotify, all the stuff he's worked on. He said that when he's looking at the Dolby Atmos renderer and there's like something panning like up on the top, he's like, I see it happening, but I don't feel it actually happening that way. You know, and he said, and I think it's because of speaker placement. And he's in multi-million-dollar studios all the time using Dolby spec speaker placement. I'm like, I'm like, dude, this is what I tell these people all the time. Just put the speakers in the location where the Dolby Atmos renderer thinks the speakers are, and you'll get a better Dolby Atmos. It's like simple. It's too simple.
Too simple.
Too simple. Remember that clip from Zoolander? He's like, it's in the computer. It's so simple. That's exactly what this situation is. It's just so simple. But yeah, even he was like, I just don't understand. I'm like, yeah, it's the speaker placement. You're 100% right. And I've seen some of these Atmos. Like I designed this so I'm the head. I'm sitting at the little head location in the Atmos renderer. But I've seen some of these pictures where like they're like up at the front stage. Like they're like if not even 2 feet, like a foot away from these speakers, like all in the front. And then the rear speakers are like behind them, and then surround backs are like behind those. It's just
okay. How about this? Next time you come and visit California, Aaron.
Okay.
How many people with a home theater or 2-channel system would be willing to pay for all of us to go to their house and review your system? You got to pay though. You got to pay. We'll review it and then we'll give you a recommendation on what you should do. We'll go with a score sheet. We'll play the spatial audio calibration toolkit. Aaron probably has a ton of stereo test tracks, and we'll go review your system, and we'll tell you honestly if it's good or if it sucks.
Yeah,
that's it.
Oh, look, Michael says go over there, do audio calibration, and then give it a score afterward. Keeps it legit. So everything's on the same playing field. I mean,
I'm not going to calibrate it and then score myself.
No, because then if I touch that thing, it's gonna be awesome.
I'm gonna give it 100. My GPA is gonna have a 5 at the first.
Bad idea, Mike. Bad idea.
We got to review it before. We're not gonna touch anything. Like, yeah, man. You set the volume. Actually, that's the only thing we'll change. We'll change the volume.
Yeah, because I don't like it too hot.
Test linearity, dynamic system.
Okay.
What's it like?
So we should just do that. That's our new thing. We're gonna go. You're gonna pay us a lot of money. And we're gonna tell you our expert opinion.
I say like, what kind of like we're thinking like $75, $50 a piece, like.
No, I was thinking like a couple G's each.
Oh yeah, that's even better.
A couple G's,
yeah,
a couple G's each. We're gonna hang out. You're gonna get all of us, and we're just gonna have fun, listen to some stuff, review your thing, and then we'll move on to the next house.
Yeah, I'll bring some special.
Like it'll be a couple in a day. It has to be like we gotta have. Like at least 5 of them lined up that day.
Yeah.
2 G's each for each of us.
I'll bring some special brand new Dolby Atmos stuff to listen to. You'll be like, oh my God, this sounds so good.
Oh my God.
sounds fantastic.
And then
Or I'll be like, yeah, it doesn't sound that great.
Oh
Yeah.
man, why's it
And
gotta be
then
like
we'll
that though?
yeah. Then we'll all sign the back of your speaker. They're
I've
like,
done that before.
I don't want you to sign anything on my speaker.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, but we sign it on blue painter's tape in case he ever like gets mad or the owner
I
gets
see.
mad. They just peel it off.
I see. If they don't like the score.
Yeah,
I did that on like clip speakers that I sold. And the new owner was like, "Can you like sign the back of them?" I'm like, sure, okay." So whatever. There it is.
I think that really a lot of people who think their system sounds good if we went over there, we'd find the issues. We'd find whatever issues that they have.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're coming in
even
fresh.
Aaron,
Too.
when you were here, you're like, you're noticing some phase stuff with the subs. You're like, it's kind of like moving my leg a little bit on my system. And that's because I was trying out MSO. An optimizer, and it's doing weird stuff with the subs. They're not playing them all at the same time. And there probably is some weirdness when it comes to the phase stuff with MSO. I mean,
so I wasn't full of it. I knew what I was hearing then.
Yeah,
and of course.
That's
these guys in the food comments are hilarious.
Who really knows what's going on? You're like, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, 100%.
There's an issue there. Okay, no, that's true. That is exactly correct. You know?
Look at this. A couple of Jesus cheap. What will be expensive is who would be buying Shauna snacks. You guys are funny. Somebody said they had to stop watching because I kept eating. I actually didn't eat any lunch days. The last time I ate was like 10 o'clock, so I'm starving. So
screw you or what?
grabbed a bunch of snacks. I can't.
Well, basically, if you don't like it, then what?
Yeah,
let's snack off.
Kiss it.
Snack off.
Get out of here. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think that's a good idea. Maybe next time you're here, we should organize something where we go check out people's systems. If they want us to score their system, maybe we'll start it off low price at the beginning while we test it out.
It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
And then we get to hang out all in one place.
We'll make some recommendations. Consider it like a consultation as well. I mean, a lot of these guys, when it comes to the car audio stuff, they're like, yeah, you should have, enter a few of the competitions so you get good feedback. I'm like, you need some judges to tell you what to do with your system. Why can't you figure it out?
Yeah,
can't you tell what's wrong? Like, why do I need I know what's wrong with my system. Now, for me, I'm kind of curious if the judge can tell what's wrong with my system because I already know what's wrong. Like, can they figure it out?
Yeah, that's what we ought to do. We ought to invite these like golden ear people. Like, we'll change the polarity of a speaker and just see if they even notice. Man, the center is so focused and pinpoint. No, it's not.
I told you I went to this guy. I checked out this guy's system that was like a couple $100,000, I would say.
Woo.
In this 2-channel system. He had all the fancy cables, all this and that.
Did he have the Niagara power conditioner?
Everything was separate, And then he's letting me listen to it, and then I played some test tones, and his left and right were swapped. Like, how could you even get good imaging? Your left and right are swapped.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I can't even take that seriously.
Oh, I know. I hear you.
You know
why? It's because he didn't have the Audio Quest Niagara. That's why.
But doesn't that happen at shows too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I finagle these guys to play like my Atmos mix, and I'm like, why is this sounding weird? And then all of a sudden I'm like, here, let's run that 714 call out, and then like speakers are in the wrong location, or like with that one, because they were using Dante and they didn't set it up properly. Like there was no sound coming out of the surrounds. Like,
was this a big company?
Yeah, a big expensive because they sell some spendy stuff.
Are they French?
Yes. Doesn't start with an F though.
I know. Okay. No, I
starts
know.
with a D.
Yes.
Huh? Yeah.
Starts with D.
Nuts.
D.
Yeah, it's just silly. I mean,
Well, like I went to the first Audio Device Live and I heard the Theory Audio, their room,
Yeah.
and I was like, something's wrong with this speaker back here. And he was like, yeah. So, it happens. But I think
that sucks when they
most of the
know.
time they just hope people don't catch it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember the audio advice I went to, like 3 companies missed their, so there's something happened with shipping and like 3 companies had to like figure it out.
Yeah.
Like some people drove like overnight 2 nights just to get the stuff down there by Friday afternoon, and the show already started Friday morning. Like what the hell? So I mean, I understand that shit happens, but like you got like at least like tell the people like what's going on instead of just lying to them. Yeah, this is Sony's brand new reality 360 room correction when there was no time to actually set that shit up and you're just running it manual.
How can we make money off of this? That's what I want to know.
These
How can
people
we
are
go to
too
a
fucking
trade shows?
cheap and dumb to do that, dude.
You know,
Like,
I want to go to a trade show, and the day before,
they don't have it ready. They don't have it ready. That's the problem. They don't have it ready the day
A lot of
before,
them rushing
dude.
to get stuff put
No,
together.
I want to go the day before. They have to have something set up. We go over there and we say, all right, this is good. This is not good. Or you got to fix this.
It's last minute, dude. It is last minute. I'm telling you.
Bro,
we can try, but
NAMM, this guy, I told you about the guy who was showing off desktop subwoofers.
Yeah.
And he had 2 of them. And they were out of phase with each other. And I sat there and like, he was trying to show me a demo. I'm like, bro, there's no bass. Like, there's supposed to be bass there. He's like, oh, yeah, I can't compete with Focal because they're using. I'm like, that's not the problem.
Yeah.
I said, is there a polarity switch on one of these? And I flipped one of them, and now they're playing in phase. And he's like, oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you're showing off your product, and you don't even know whether they're in phase.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
So I feel like that's a thing. If you're gonna show off your speakers, you should have them set up properly.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think. Like,
left should come out of left, and right should come out of right, and surround should come out of surrounds. Simple stuff. That's not too much to ask, is it?
Yeah, I mean, and then this is like where it comes down to like when I'm listening to something in Atmos, that's why I'm like, here, play my thing. Because I know exactly where everything is. I know exactly where I placed it all. And that's the one thing that like, if they're watching movie demos, so Audio Advice Live, which somebody asked earlier if any of us were going to Audio Advice Live. Aaron and I both were thinking about going. And Aaron, are you still out?
I told him I'd let him know tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to happen, man.
Okay.
I can't do what I need to do with my holidays or my work vacation.
Oh, right. Your work holidays. So like, it was so funny because like last week, I think it was the day after, that one lady emails me. She's like, oh, I just heard from Jonathan that you've confirmed you're going to come. I'm like, no, actually it's quite the opposite. I don't think I'm going to show up. And I'm pretty sure Aaron's probably out as well. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, the shows are like, they're cool, but like, if I know I got to hear Dirac art for the first time, and I know Joe, you heard it, and you're saying it's like it sounds weird to our ears, like listening to music in an anechoic chamber, right?
It brings down the RT60, I would say, in the bass.
So
but, like, it's not changing anything in your room. It's doing it actively with the speakers.
Yeah. Like one thing I noticed is that I had these objects in this Atmos track that like whipped around real fast, and I can like locate them really easily. But with Dirac art, I couldn't localize that. I was just like, where's that sound? Why is it all like that sound would be right there? Instead, it was just like around here.
Some weird stuff was happening.
Yeah, some weird, like I don't know what they're doing. I'm not that technical to know. I just know I put a fucking sound there and I can normally hear it. And that Sony room, the cheapest system there, $50,000. That my shit sounded the best on that. Everything else, it didn't sound good on anything. And they didn't run room correction. They had a better sounding thing not running room correction because they didn't have time. So I don't know. I don't know. And you know, they fucking told everybody they're running the fucking room correct. What the fuck?
So what's the next show that's coming up that,
Audio
that you
Vice.
guys are gonna actually go to?
Oh, we're probably gonna go Cedia. That's gonna be
Oh,
you
well,
and me.
not we're gonna be exhibiting.
Well,
at
yeah,
CEDIA.
we're gonna be exhibiting. So I don't know what the fuck. That
Yeah, I
shit's
think the
gonna
next one probably for me would probably wind up being Expona. There's
Why
the
don't why don't you go to Cedia?
when is that and where is
Denver. I'm only saying because
that? Say it's in
what I've noticed.
November or Denver.
be. Denver.
Denver.
September 3 to 6. I think it's midweek though.
Oh yeah,
That doesn't work for Aaron.
Yeah,
Well, in car audio, there's most people that know about DSP, like they really know what's up. They know
Right.
about crossover design. They know all this stuff. But there's also some like woo woo type of audiophile people in car.
Oh yeah, for sure,
There's those people too.
for sure.
So in every but less so. Like it's less likely to happen in car
Aaron,
audio, let's say.
If you could leave Friday and be there Saturday for like half a day, that'll work.
Well,
And then you can hang out with me the rest
Hey,
of
it'd
the
be
night.
worth it just to hang out with you.
I'm just saying that home theater, you're more likely to have good sounding systems that are actually well designed and things that make sense. Like the speakers actually have good directivity and it's actually impressive.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna be more likely to find that type of person or a company
there at that show.
I would say. Then that's why I don't go to Expona. I'm just gonna be disgusted.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be grossed out at this super expensive stuff that doesn't even barely works. Like it makes sound, but I can look at it and see. I know what all the issues are with that. I can just look at your design and tell you that
Oh,
that's
this is a
problematic.
great this is a great question. Why don't you guys do some videos to teach people how to achieve better acoustics within a room? Teach them how to read an impulse response and how to set polarity on a sub to the mains. There you go. Dude, that's the Total Joe video.
I could.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that video where the guy he's doing I don't know what is that called, like
he
bungee jump?
said that's an Aaron and Joe job. Yeah, that's not me. That's
You know what I'm talking about?
me.
Like what is it when you sit on the chair and then you're on the bungee?
Bungee cord?
Yeah, and then they push you off the thing.
Oh, bungee jumping.
You
Base
seen
jumping?
that guy? The guy, hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
what was that accident?
It's a meme of this guy. Let me tell you something. Because anyway, he's
What's
doing
his
this.
nationality, Joe?
Huh?
What's his nationality, Joe?
I don't know. He looks like I don't know. He looks American. He looks like an American, but maybe like Middle Eastern.
I'm just kidding.
Anyway, so you know which meme I'm talking about?
I do not, man. I really don't.
Look, you got to look it up. I swear to you, you will crack up. Look up. Let me tell you something. Just that's it. Go on YouTube and just type in "Let me tell you something."
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Let me tell you something.
I mean,
Anyway.
he might come up with Jim Carrey. Let me tell you something.
No,
You
no.
know?
This guy's I guess he's some kind of civil engineer, something like that.
I do know what you're talking about.
That
Yeah,
guy. Let me tell you
I
something.
see it now. Yep. Gosh,
And he goes to the guy, hey, double check. And the guy's telling him while he's doing all this stuff, he's telling him, I
Yeah.
went to school for engineering, but I failed. Or he said, like, I was no good at it.
yeah,
And I put this thing together and he's like, hey, double check. And
right.
the guy tells him, yeah, I could double check, but I'm not going to.
Yep.
I could, but I'm not going to. So that's kind of my answer to Richard.
Well, I mean,
I could make a video teaching people about all this stuff.
it's the amount of work
man.
that would go into that, because in my opinion, if somebody makes a video for that and does it in 10 minutes, it's not worth watching. And
It's a disservice, right?
Yeah, it's a huge disservice. It's not something you can boil down to a 10 or 15-minute video. I don't care how good you think you are and how high level you're trying to make it. In my experience, something like that, like really teaching people, is best done in person. You have events, you have training sessions, those kind of things. Like in the car audio stuff, we all taught each other. When somebody new would come into a show and they'd be like, well, how do you listen for X, Y, Z? Or how does time alignment work? Say, all right, sit down in your seat and I'm going to run the DSP and I'm going to make some changes and you listen. And then I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. And then that's how you learn really quickly. And then you say, all right, now if you want to do it, these are the things you listen for. These are the things you look for, etc. Right. So anyway.
Yeah. So, what do you call it? There's a couple other things here.
The person actually, what I wanted to say about that is, if I did make a video about impulse response, you know how many people would really be interested in that?
Oh, dude, a
Just like
fraction of a
you
fraction.
and like 10 other people.
Well, no, you're 100% right. And the other thing too is that those videos exist, right? But you just have to put them together. You want to know what impulse response is? There's a video for that. There's a tutorial for REW for that. There's all this stuff is already available. And it's like, how much time do I want to spend compiling all that stuff to make videos for it?
And then you have to deliver it to everyone that can understand in a way they can understand it, right?
Right. And
that's what you said, high level.
So here's the truth. Could I make it in a way that's easily digestible, that maybe presented in a better way than others have done it in the past? Yeah, I think I probably could. I probably could. But what's in it for me? I'm going to take all this time to make it simple so that, you know, a select
It'll get like 200 views if that.
Implement it, and then what do I get? I get I get $50 on YouTube. I mean, I get a good feeling. Thank you. I get some thank yous, and you know, I get it. I mean, I should say, yeah, I want to do that because out of the goodness of my heart. But really, it takes a lot of time to do all that. Where realistically, people who want their system tuned will just probably rather just pay me. There's like, you know what? I don't want to know how to do it. You do it, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Somebody who really wants to figure it out can figure it out, but you're gonna need dual FFT. Do you want to do that? You want to set up a audio interface and then do a loop back and figure out how to do that?
Yeah. That's the other thing too, is like you've got to, so for me, there's a lot of videos that I really want to do, but man, the setup for that is daunting. Like even this ABX video that I want to do, I'm going to have to set up at least 2 cameras, maybe if not a third one.
Yeah, I've done that.
You know, it's not like
screen record and 2 cameras.
Like, it's not that you can't do it. It's just, man, it's a lot of freaking work. And it, in the weirdest way, it's actually stressful, you know, because you're like, make sure everything's recording and, oh, does this take make sense? And if not, then I got to go re-record on all these different devices, and I got to put it all together, and then I got to edit it all together. And I just,
dude, I did calibration on 4 different AVRs before I could even start shooting or listening to the video.
Oh,
right. Like that was just.
And another thing I would add to it. It sounds like a complaint, but I'm just trying to communicate clearly
you're answering
why I don't feel like doing it, because it's such a technical video. Even one technical error on my part, if I say something a little bit wrong, there's going to be all the technical people who are actually interested will be saying what I did wrong. And I'll say, yeah, you're right. I did this wrong. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Almost, it's so high level that you can't be wrong. You cannot be incorrect.
Yeah.
It's not appropriate. It's almost like not an appropriate place for YouTube, where YouTube's supposed to be for general, kind of like high level stuff. But I have been tempted to do it. It's on my list of things that I thought of doing, and it would be more of a video that I knew wouldn't get a lot of views, but maybe useful to that one person who would look at it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like I should do that just because I can. And sometimes I just say, you know what, I don't have time to do that.
I think that's a good point about the people who are going to kind of wait for an error with bated breath. So I've been asked to do subwoofer to mains alignment videos plenty of times. And for me, I would rather just do it live. I would rather just set up a live stream and it be like, dude, this thing could run 2 or 3 hours. I don't know. I'm just going to go as I go. And if I forget things along the way, you guys are crash coursing it with me because I ain't done this in 5 or 6 years. It'd be like one of those kind of deals, you know? But I will say that I tried to do something like that about a year ago with the WIM. I think it was the WIM amp. And it was a video where I was making suggestions on maybe like a $500 system you could put together with that included. And I said, you know, buy the Polk XT20s or buy these cheap speakers and then spend like $100 or $200 on the subwoofer. And you set it up like this. And I had all sorts of people saying, well, that's not technically right. And it's, while they were right, my video wasn't wrong either. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, if you guys want to make a video that's 2 hours long, diving into the minutia of it, go ahead. This video took me 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and there's got to be some reasonable cutoff point there.
And it's why white papers, if you ever read some of these white papers, why they read like that is because they want to go through every detail so their peers cannot say, oh, well, you didn't say this. You said something incorrect because you excluded this. That's why they're so specific. They almost read like a legal document.
Yeah.
You don't want a video to be presented like that.
No,
It's not fun.
I don't know that I agree. I don't know that YouTube is really the place for that level of detail. I think that's when you turn to writing it out and writing a process out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right. But have you ever felt that way in doing a review where you knew somebody's going to call you out on something that you kind of didn't say or you left out, so you have to say it? And it's like, you know what? Most people would not care if you said that or not.
No,
I'm thinking about this one person who's going to say it.
Yeah, there's always some asshole who has to say something, right? No, I did that when I was watching back my WIM Amp Ultra or Ultra Amp or whatever review. I said something about how it powers surround speakers and you know, like you'd have to buy their additional. And I was like, well, it does. I didn't mean to say powers. I meant like it sends signal to these things, right? But I said powers. And I just figure it's only a matter of time until somebody says, well, it doesn't power them. Even though like I caught myself after like in the next sentence or two later. And it's just stuff like that. And you think, man, it's
dude, I got a comment saying, you guys lost all credibility when the microphone is pointed forward. And I'm like, oh, you mean the horizontal calibration file, not the 90-degree calibration file? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Stuff's wild,
man. Yeah. Here MW has said something about me saying about Dirac art. He says it depends on if art was set up correctly. That's true. That could be fair. They were running like Matt Trinkling from Storm Audio was like sweating. He didn't have a mustache at the time, but he had like beads of sweat. Like he was just sweating to get that shit done. He goes on to say Dirac has a bunch of audio engineers and PhDs. I'm pretty sure they know what they are doing.
Okay.
Dirac has over 50 patents. Yeah, this is 100% correct.
So I was a beta
tester while they do the work. Yes, but I'll tell you something that they also do. They work for a company that needs to do what? They need to fucking sell you something.
Yeah.
Again next year. And like we don't fucking need it, dude. Like there's so many shit that we don't need, but they have to keep making money and keep trying to raise the price. How much did Dirac cost? Like $600, right? For a Denon? To get Dirac, like $650 for like the whole thing. Like that's a lot of fucking money for something.
MW, I don't know what you're referring to exactly, but I was a beta tester for Dirac art, early beta tester. I mean, I had to run it on a computer, and
who came to your house? The CEO,
former
the
CEO,
lead engineer?
And their senior engineer at the time came over to the house to make sure everything was set up properly, and we did demos. So I mean, how much more do you have to go to prove that it's set up properly?
Yeah.
You know, they came over and listened to the system, you know. So, and even then, I still think there's some things that I think other people, when they finally get it, are gonna say, that's kind of weird. It was my job to recommend to them things that they should probably change before it was released to the public. And one of my recommendations is make it easy to turn that thing up and down.
Yeah, I remember that.
It totally works. What they're trying to do works, but I don't know if people are going to like it. Like, are you going to like that whenever you play music, it reduces the RT60 or the perceived RT60, even though your room is still exactly the same? Do people like that? Because it does work. I don't know if they're going to love it. Maybe they're going to want to turn it down a little bit. So that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You know,
I think another thing, especially when it comes to Atmos, what are they using to demo or just like hear the system? They are using some shit from a movie that's way too fast You have no way to actually see the vertical or horizontal cohesion in the 3D space, which is why we made this thing. And did you guys know that the at CDL last year, I gave 2 of these to the Marantz engineers, and they took this back to Japan. So Marantz is using this when they develop their products.
That's
that's cool.
And it's for a good reason. It's the fact that it's happens slowly, so you know. So when I say I make an Atmos mix and I hear it on a system and the shit doesn't sound right, I know it doesn't sound right. I don't know what the fuck the thing is doing. I just know it's not right. Whatever that is, something's wrong. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know all, you know, I don't have a fucking player hating degree. But
you know what I like
I'll tell
about
you
our
this.
group,
I know what I fucking made, and I hear it on this system. I hear the mistakes of the system at home because it's not set up this way.
You know what I can say about our group here? Our group, even though we all have like different levels of expertise in different things, and I would say that in our reviews, if we say something incorrect, it may be because of stupidity. Maybe I made a mistake.
Could
I
be
didn't know
ignorance.
enough about something, and that's why I told you something incorrect. Or it's because we're trying to oversimplify, and we might have left some stuff out.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can say that confidently that none of us would say something misleading on purpose, knowingly trying to mislead somebody. And that's where I kind of feel like some other channels where they may seem like I don't know if they just don't know or they don't want to know, because if they do know, then they can't say the things that they're saying. Like if they knew better, they couldn't in good conscience say whatever they want to say about something.
Oh my dude.
At that level, right? Or some people, I feel like they know what they're saying is untrue and they don't care. And that's where I feel weird. That's where I can't get with those types.
Yeah.
We can't get along. Like if you're willing to say whatever it takes because you know you're trying to make that sale, you're trying to get people to click on the affiliate links, and you'll say whatever it takes,
they gotta sell you something next year.
I can't get with that. You know, I can't get with that.
I think
tell me if Aaron, if you want to sell me on the Asai Lab speaker or that DIY kit, I feel like you should sell me, because the measurements say that they're good and it's the best. You can say it's the best speaker that you have reviewed in this price range. Like that's an honest statement.
Yeah.
There's
nothing
also false about that statement.
I can sell you on not buying stuff too.
Yeah.
Luckily, those are fewer and further between.
So I guess that's all I'm saying is that this group, I feel like whether we're perfect in our review, and I'm sure that we're not, I think that none of us are going to try to mislead you on purpose.
Yeah. That 100,000%.
And I can't say that about everybody else. I don't know that that's everybody's intention.
I mean, I'll let these, like, you know, I was walking around with somebody from Dolby at CES. I was like, hey, what do you guys have set up at NAMM? And they said, oh, we have the John Lennon bus. I'm like, can I say something? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, it sounds like shit in there. It doesn't sound good. And then they're like, yeah, you can say that. I can't. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There you have it. What happened to Aaron? Did you just say,
no, it says, I see his screen still.
Is
Maybe
it the dog?
His camera probably died.
Or dog needs to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, one of the two. But he disappeared out of nowhere. They got him. They got him.
Hold up.
So
all right. No, I'm back.
Anyway,
I thought it was the dog.
I had to do something, and I may or may not be wearing shorts.
Oh my god!
You had to do something.
I had to
go. Guy,
I had to go
get dropping dukes in his shorts, bro. What's going on?
I'm just saying. I guess I should have just said, "Oh yeah, my camera turned off." I don't know what happened. So that's what happened. My camera turned off, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's what Joe said. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's it. I think we have integrity.
Yeah.
And that's it. We got integrity.
Man, I need to send you guys. I had some weirdo email me about some app thing that he's come up with for Apple EQ or something, and I was like, oh, that's cool, just whatever. Like that's neat, looks neat. And then yesterday he emailed me saying stuff about like my measurements, something about them being gated incorrectly. And then I'm walking the dog and I'm reading this and I'm like, what? So I emailed him back and I said, I didn't know if he doesn't know how the clipper works or if he was concerned about inconsistencies between my measurements and maybe someone else's. So I said, if you haven't seen my interview with the Clipple engineer, you might want to go check that out. And then I said, as for potential, issues, I said, just like any other set of measurements, even outside the Clipple, I mean, you have mic calibration, you can have your reference point could be a little bit off, and you also have quality control between different speakers, right? I said, like, even a pair of speakers from the same manufacturer in the same box can be a decibel off from each other. They have some variance. Then he emails me back and he says, you're full of crap. And basically said, like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And at that point, like, I'm like, dude, if you want to talk, give me your phone. I said, what's your phone number? He said, I'm not giving that out. That's non-negotiable. And I want to be like, you fucking pussy. Like,
non-negotiable.
Yeah. But I told him, like, I replied, kind of nicely as I could. And I was just like, well, I'm not going to argue with somebody over email. Like, I got time to talk while I'm walking. If you want to figure out whatever this is. And then he was like, man, you just rage quit. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I looked at the dude. He used to work for Cali until 2020, Cali Audio. Until 2020. Yeah. So I'm not going to dox him here, but yeah. So I was going to contact the Cali Audio guys and be like, hey, if he's your boy, you need to get your boy, because I think he's going through a breakdown right now.
Yeah.
You need to get your boy on a leash.
Yeah, you need to get that woman on a
sometimes
leash.
people do some weird stuff and like,
dude,
what's going on in your life, bro? I mean,
I know it for real. I thought about emailing him being like, dude, in all seriousness, I hope you're okay, because this isn't behavior for somebody who is rationally thinking. Like, and he was quoting Chat GPT on me about like my response and all, and I was like, what are you doing, dude?
Hey, check on Charles, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Like, hey, you good? It was wild though. So yeah, there's weirdos out there. Straight up weirdos.
No, that's weird. I'm sure you get a lot of I just feel like it's weird to question the stuff on the Clipple, because it's the one thing that's pretty like, it's kind of like the one thing, like, you shouldn't be able to argue with that too much. You can argue with maybe
he was saying something about the Cali speakers that I measured, and he was saying, I don't want to open that email back up because it'll just.
No, I get it, but it's kind of like, I bet you, if you were to ask Charles Sprinkle, who designed the speakers, I've talked to Charles a lot.
Yeah,
and I've never seen.
So have I.
I've never seen a lot of time where he says like, "Oh, I don't agree with what's shown here," or it's almost like any disagreement with Clipple has more to do with the interpretation of the data.
Right.
Yes.
Agreed. Yeah, I've never had a single measurement of any Cali Audio product be refuted by them ever. So
it could be like, oh, there is that thing, but you won't hear that. Okay, that's fair.
LP6
there's a thing that happens here, but you're never gonna hear that, or you're not gonna notice that. Okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah, no,
I'm cool with that.
Those LP6 V2s are amazing, by the way.
You still rocking the LP6?
Daily. Yeah, well, I don't have money to buy new stuff.
How's the song? Didn't you make a song for it?
The LP6 V2. I actually made a brand new remix on that and did like 5 other mashups. So like, I've been using them quite a bit these days.
David Cook asks, genuinely curious, if you were hired to calibrate a 500,000 plus home theater, would you show up and use Magic Beans? Absolutely.
Where would your sweet spot be though, Joe? Where would the main listing? Would you do a big one? You would have to do a big one. This is probably like 9-seat, 10, 12-seat. What do you think?
I would probably have to optimize for all the seats, so I'd have to do it differently. Our Magic Beans is not designed for that many seats, so I would have to do something custom. But yeah, I would absolutely use it, because what's a top of the line thing that people use for home is probably a Trinov.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't also. It doesn't give you custom target curves. Those aren't custom. So it should be more the opposite way. Why doesn't that do what Magic Beans does?
Right.
It shouldn't be like, oh, why would you use a $250 app to do that? It should be more like, how come their stuff doesn't do what this does? Yeah. But yeah, absolutely, I would use it.
Richard McCoy is asking. He has his eye on per listen subwoofers. I asked him which ones. He says the 10s and the 12s. I have a pair of the 10s here in the studio. And just to follow up, so I don't have to type it. They're good. However, on my latest Atmos track, I made sure it went down to 15 hertz. They had a little trouble with that. Other than that, they sound pretty awesome. They shake the crap. I'm in the corner here. They shake the crap out of the center banisters outside in the middle of this floor. So they do it really, really, really well in that aspect. They're $2,000 each. So that's $4,000 altogether here. Is it worth that over something like a 15-inch? Because honestly, I'm thinking, I told him, I'm like, the 12s are going to be too big in here. And now, after I heard these for a little while, I'm like, oh, they're super cute, though. They look real cute. They're like, oh, look at this. Look at the cute.
baby.
Yeah, they're cute.
You're cute.
I think, thanks, man. I think I would go with the 12-inch.
You would.
Now that extra 2-inch really does
Extra
matter.
2? Good God. Anyway, enough about horses. This is why I don't need to show up to anywhere where you guys are at.
Hey,
This is just me and Chana.
This is great. Hey, have you seen that meme Angela was showing me where dudes would call up like their friends and just tell them good night?
Yep. Though it's so good, man. It is so
hilarious, bro. Hey,
I haven't seen it. What is it?
Good night. Hey, just saying. I just want to say good night. Like what?
What do you mean good night? Yeah, like the one with the football.
Why?
The pro football player. Yeah, that was pretty good. I saw one where a dude from New Kids on the Block called like the other guys, and they were like, "Man, like, what do you?" So, Chana, if you don't know, it's like is it a dad challenge or a good night challenge? If you look it up, you'll find it.
I don't know.
It's a TikTok thing, but it would be like dudes calling their friends at night, and the friends would answer and, hey man, what's going on? I'm like, oh, not much, man. I just want to tell you good night. I hope you get some good sleep. And they'd be like, what are you talking about, dude? What do you want?
If I said that to you, Chana? Like if I just called you up and
why are you calling me like you're some sort of girlfriend right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I
say good night.
If I called you to say, hey bro, just want to say good night. Sleep tight.
I feel like
bed bugs bite.
I'd be like, Joe, it's midnight. I'm going to sleep at like 3. You're way too early. Call me back. Call me back at 3.
It's all right.
Well, have a good night. Just want to make sure you have a good night's sleep.
I want you to know.
What would you say? What would you honestly say?
Honestly, I'd just be like, all right, thanks, man. Good night. You too.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
All right, that's weird, bro. Bye.
I'm not. I wouldn't even say that's weird. I'd just be like, all right, good night, dude. See ya.
Would you think it's weird that that's the only thing I'd say though? Like I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything to question about like spatial toolkit. No business related anything. Just a good night.
When we hung up the phone, I'd feel like fucking weirdo.
I remember we used to let people call in. We should do that again.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely do that. Have somebody call in and say good night.
Kind of scared. What would you say if Chana called you like randomly, say, "Hey, bro"?
Dude, you don't even want to know our text messages.
What would you be like?
He would totally be fine with it.
Hold on. Let's just let him in on some of our recent texts. I'm like, man, if anybody knew,
I'd be like,
we like each other.
This was.
I said, what was your contact somewhere? He gave me the name, and I said, that's a fancy name. He said he goes by blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. Chana says, should I do an intro email? And I said, yeah, that would be appreciated. He says, okay. And then I said, I wish you lived near me so I could snuggle with you. And I sent him a John Travolta blowing a kiss gif. And then Jonna says, well, I'm still in bed. And then I said, that was incredibly gay. You outgayed me.
Oh man.
So yeah, if Aaron called and said goodnight, I'd be like, good night, man. I wouldn't think anything weird at all.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Yep.
Good night, guys.
Yeah.
Good times. Good night. Love you. Bye. Moochies.
Oh,
man.
All right. All right. On behalf of myself, go on. If you want to know about sales,
Yeah.
Spatial Audio Calibration Toolkit or Magic Beans, True Target, go and follow up the Magic Beans Instagram, follow up the Spatial Group Instagram, and if you want to be part of the after show, go to crew.dailyhifi.com and sun it up.
And go promote Aaron's Patreon, because I had to unsubscribe just because I'm like, man, I'm over here trying to save on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, if I have to pay my homies, dude, that's not good. I'm trying to save on all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to be cheap. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I do believe that it's totally worth it.
Yes, right? I agree.
You should definitely, if you're not Aaron's friend like that, then you should go and
yeah.
Where's this thing? Do you have a banner? Go support him and go make up for my for me.
You for slacking.
Yeah. So make up for me. Go support. And yeah, you sell stuff on there too.
Here, I'll do this.
You sell you sell stuff for like or you give away stuff.
Boom, there it is. Patreon.com/Aaron's Audio
that you buy. So yeah, sometimes he'll buy some stuff or he'll get some stuff that he doesn't necessarily need, and he'll
dude.
So that's
speaking of which, I'm getting some clipped speakers, and they're like, yeah, just do an unboxing. You don't really need to review it. Just let people know it's out there and sell them or give them away or whatever if you want. I'm like, okay.
Which ones are you getting? Do you know?
I can't say.
Call
me later. I'll tell you.
Okay. I just wondered. I was curious. Yeah. Y'all know how it is. Some of these people are just like, we don't want it back. And then sometimes I'll just be like, can I just buy this at the review price and then I'll sell it to a Patreon member?
Well,
there you go. I'll be hooking people up.
He hooked them up with some dope speakers.
Dude, the people who are
my those. I like those speakers. I'm trying to find a reason to use them.
The people who are my $20 and up tier are is it 20 or 40? Anyway,
is your group part like closed? A closed group? Oh no, it's a public group.
Oh yeah,
go and support on Patreon. You actually do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, try to. Yeah, there may be a couple
of stuff,
but
give them extra info that you don't normally get if you're just a YouTube subscriber.
Yeah, I talk
smack about it. If you're not cheap like me, you should do it.
Does anybody else post on your thing? On your group?
They can reply to it, but they don't post to it. Does that make sense? Like nobody can post there. It's only me. But they can reply to things that I've posted.
I can post.
Well, I'm not seeing it.
Oh, I haven't. I only comment on your shit. Like, here's another Aaron video.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't know.
Until Aaron has a product of his own, which I mean, it's only a matter of time. I'm gonna get to him one day.
One of these days.
I keep telling them, hey, look at us, look at Chana and I. We got the spatial toolkit. I got Magic Beans.
I know it, man. I'll be watching.
I keep telling them you got to do something, so it's only a matter of time.
Yeah,
but until then, support him on Patreon.
Yeah, support him on Patreon.
I mean,
that is
poor guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a product yet, so you got to at least support him on Patreon.
Yeah,
he sealed them with a love letter. That's pretty gay.
You jealous?
And
I
don't get notes like that from Aaron. Gosh damn it.
Oh, Michael Square says, don't forget Emotiva event.
Oh yeah. Yep. There's a Emotiva. If anybody is in the North Alabama, Huntsville area, Emotiva is having one of their pop-up events, which they didn't tell me about. So I'm not part of it, just to make sure.
Are you gonna go?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pop in?
I'm gonna pop in and I'm gonna ask them why they don't reply to my emails anymore.
Can you tell
Eric
this
or
is
whatever
directly from me? Tell let's see, his name is, I'll just say the first name. Tell Nick over there.
Oh, Nick, yeah.
Tell him, hey, bro, Nick, bro, you're trash at responding to emails.
Yeah, no, he's done that to me,
Suck,
man.
bro. If that's your job, bro. You suck.
Yeah,
You suck at your job, because I don't even like that brand because of the communication. Like it makes me not want to ever recommend that brand.
It's not a good look. It's frustrating because we've gone back and forth since probably around December, and like his replies to me are like 2-3 months apart.
Bro.
And I'm just like,
Nick, bro, you got to step up your game. You got hey Nick over there at Emo TV, you got to be like Nick at SVS.
Yeah, even when Nick at SBS doesn't want to send me anything, he emails me back within like a couple days. I'm like, yeah, nah.
Nick.
But he just straight tells me, and I'm like,
bro, he's the best.
I'm so glad I
wish all manufacturers did that. I wish all manufacturers, like even if they're not interested, just email me and let me know that you got my email, so I don't have to wonder if I got the right person and all that stuff.
I even emailed back. You know, when people email and you say, hey, would you like to review this Bluetooth speaker or something random? I have a canned message. It's canned, but at least I'll respond back and say, I'm not interested in that. And they'll say, hey, thank you. Thank you for telling me.
I'm not batting, 100 on that. But I would say I reply to, probably 75% of those. But man, it's tough because, you might wake up and have 3 or 4 of those weird things.
Well, if it's a canned message, pretty easy.
Yeah, I guess that's true. How do you do that? Do you like? You
I use Spark Mail, and you can automate responses, or you can set preset responses. And one of the responses is deny requests.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that.
It is deny request to review. Thank you for offering. I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm not interested at the moment. Thank you again.
Yeah. Well, and my thing too is like
I got to do that. I get a bunch of those things. Oh, did I tell you guys it came?
No. What?
I have a sponsored video coming up. It's gonna be fantastic. It's a robotic pool cleaner. Fucking so excited.
I'm getting a pool. You need to send that thing my way,
dude. I don't have a pool.
That's what's wild.
Hey, how much is it though?
I don't even know, dude.
Probably like $1,000.
Who knows? Maybe.
I still want somebody to offer to send me. I did have a company from like Germany or something offer to send me a robot lawnmower, and I was going to do it. They like sent me over a contract, and I was like, I don't want to do that.
You should try it out. Okay, why don't you try out a sponsored video of something that's totally unrelated? Because sometimes it kind of feels. I'll tell you honestly, it kind of feels good. Yeah. Because like I'm so not chilly when it comes to reviews that like. Sometimes it's fun to kind of let loose, let people know, and it's not going to harm anybody, and just chill it out.
Did y'all see the video I did a little while back, like maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 videos ago, where I shield some dog ear cleaner stuff because it's stuff that I bought for my dog, and like in the middle of it, I cut into like, and by the way, and I did like this little 45-second thing, and that day, like 7 people bought that stuff. But they're like $12 a pack, but still, like people are like, oh, that's cool, thanks.
You know what you almost got me on over the phone? You almost got me on the back stretcher thing.
Oh, dude.
I'm not even joking.
I think it's life-changing. How random that
is. Yeah. I was looking it up, but then some people are like, oh, it's not really comfortable to lay on. And I know there's a pillow.
Nah.
I don't want to do all that. Which one am I going to get?
Bunch of wusses, man.
It's interesting. Like I don't have a pool, but I have access to like 3 people's houses so they're like helping me and whatever. So it's $1,400. I would never buy one, but hey, whatever.
Sell them. Hey,
we got electronic
link. Make an affiliate link right now. Sell some right now.
All right, I'm gonna sell it right now.
We're gonna do an experiment right now.
Here's one thing. I made that video about the Lucid, and I hadn't checked. I helped them sell 4 cars. With just some random video. Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. I have a code. And so crazy. I just met the marketing guy. I'm like, look, dude, I sold 4 cars for you guys on a video that only got 4,000 views and you guys didn't even promote it. Imagine if we worked together. I'd help you sell hundreds of cars. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we really talking about here, guys? Like, they don't they just don't know.
Let me know how many links if you have like a URL shortener, I want to know how many people click on this. Because there's 47 people. All right, so
how do you track? I mean, I'll drop it in there.
All right, but I want you to shill it out hard though.
Oh, well, then let me do this. Let me do the. Oh, me. I'm going to show it because I really have considered making a separate, not a separate, but
Oh shit!
my
I got to
own
move my
console.
car in 10 minutes.
All right,
Okay,
we're
10
going
minutes. You got
we're
10
gonna wrap
minutes.
up. I can
You
do
got
this
10
really
minutes.
fast. All right, this
this
back
out.
stretcher table thing, you lay on it, and then it's got a little lever down here that you pull on the lever, and it stretches this end out. And man, it feels so good. But you got to get this as well, which is the harness. So this harness attaches around your waist, and then it attaches to the feet of
So that's
this thing
300
right
bucks in
here.
total.
So is that
And-
thing upside down or something?
No, it lays flat on the ground. You don't have. So I can't do inversion tables because they make me nauseous. Right.
Right. Yeah.
This lays flat on the ground. And if you want, what I do is I have this set up in my living room and I watch TV while I'm doing it. I do maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, stretch it and let it collapse back in, stretch a little bit more, collapse. And then I get up and I put an ice pack on my back. And then, like in the past 2 or 3 months, my back has felt so much better after using
So
it.
it actually feels good to use it. Does it crack your back at all?
No, it doesn't crack it. It just stretches, but it feels like okay. So for anybody who has back issues, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've ever had like when you like bend over and you like stretch your lower back, or if you have somebody grab your foot and like pull on it, you can feel that stretch and it feels so good. And you think, how do I get this? Well, inversion table is one way, right? And the other way is to go to your chiropractor and they do them that way. It's a decompression table. But this thing kind of does that, but it's manual. And it's $130, and the waist belt thing is maybe another $100.
So you
All
need
in,
both.
all in, you're at about maybe like $280, but it's the best $280 you're going to spend on your back, at least in my opinion.
So this guy says, Richard asks, does it work on giraffes? I'm 6'7".
Let's see here. Up to 250 pounds capacity. I don't know. So I'm like 5'10", 5'11", somewhere in that ballpark.
Because I usually, like, before I go to sleep.
It says up to 6'5", 4'8" to 6'5".
There's probably another one that can go.
Yeah, there probably is.
So I just like hang on. Like I have pull-up bars, and it feels great to just like,
dude, it's like that. Great. It's like that, but you can get more because when you pull those levers, your waist is like pulled down by the feet roller area, so it actually stretches you out like with force, not just gravity, but with force. Yeah, and it feels so freaking good, man.
It feels so good. I ended up somebody got me some inversion, like those boots where you could. Yeah, I'm like, dude, that's too scary. I don't want to hang upside down. That's scary.
Waiting to happen.
Like I could fall on my head. That's not safe.
So no, it's dangerous.
So I figured that if that kind of does the same thing, except you're laying on the floor, how long do you do it for?
10 to 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. There's some affiliate links right there.
You just do it while you're watching TV and just lay on the floor while you're watching TV and then grab an ice pack, put it on your back when you're done for about maybe 15, 20 minutes. I'm not a doctor. This just works for me.
Yeah, not a doctor. I'm just saying something that feels cool, like a massage thing.
I love it. I'm going to go use it when we're done here because I've been sitting at a desk pretty much all day. And my dog.
There you go. Hey, before we go, I know you got to run. Thank you for the super chat, Sid. I'll answer this very quickly. It's a bit of a speculation, but I'm setting up my basement to be an entertainment area. Should I look into the upcoming Hisense L9Q or true 4K JVC 500, 700 Sony Bravia 7? Thanks again for the super chat. I would say, who's my projector guy? I always forget. The Hookup.
The Hookup, the Hookup.
The Hookup does the best videos when it comes to comparing ultra short throw. I believe that Hisense L9Q is maybe an ultra short throw. Is it? Hisense L9Q. Images. Yeah, ultra short throw. So ultra short throw is very different from standard throw projector in that if you're trying to do a home theater, you may want to use an acoustic transparent screen. And I haven't seen very many acoustic transparent screens that are made for ultra short throw.
Yeah.
So it depends. Right? If it's a dedicated setup, you probably want to go with a typical home theater style.
Long throw projector.
Yeah. Ultra short throw for like a living room situation where you're going to have ambient light. Because it's so close, you're getting a lot of brightness. You can get those ambient light rejecting screens or ceiling light projecting screens where you can have the ceiling lights on, windows open, and still watch your projector. But you're not going to have maybe as good of black levels as some of these typical long throw projectors.
Especially a JVC, like you're saying.
Yeah. So just know what the trade-offs are, and definitely check out that channel, The Hookup. That dude's the beast.
That guy's a beast at those things.
Yeah, he's a beast. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Thank you again for the super chat.
Yeah.
And if you have any follow-up questions on top of that, just leave it in the comment and I'll respond.
Yep.
Let's get out of here.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you tune in Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. And we'll see you in the after show in just a few minutes if you're going there. And if you're not, we'll see you next week. On behalf of myself, Aaron, and Joe, have a great one. Bye.
Peace.
Later.
See y'all.